Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I cheated 9 tails at the beginning. I am the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths. Chapter 31. Tamari was already waiting, holding her trademark huge folding fan, her blonde hair tied into 4 braids. Wearing fishnet stockings on her legs, revealing her long, round, straight and muscular legs, she is both heroic, charming and handsome. Fight Naruto. Naruto, believe in your own strength. Naruto, we will support you and go all out to defeat her and let her know how powerful the Konoha shinobi is. Very good, Xiao Li, come on with more enthusiasm. Yes, teacher Guy. There was silence. Only Xiao Li and Guy, the master and apprentice, shouted wildly, and their roar almost overturned the entire venue. The two of them were so noisy. Can't you just watch the game? The others all showed disgusted expressions and unanimously stayed away from the overly passionate master and disciple. Naruto, as Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, is a centerpiece in his own right. Now it is his first battle after graduating from the ninja school, so naturally everyone is paying close attention to him. The third Hokage, in particular, has a somewhat penetrating gaze. He wanted to know how strong Naruto was now. Let's start, shouted the Proctor Moonlight Hayate. Kid, I'll let you take the first shot. The corners of Temari's lips curled up slightly, showing a disdainful smile. Otherwise, if I wait, I can kill you in one fell swoop. Naruto smiled. Looking at the fan in your hand, you should be good at wind-style ninjutsu, right? So what? Do you know that I am good at wind-style ninjutsu? Can you restrain yourself? Tamari smiled confidently. Stop pretending and come over quickly. I'll let you attack first. Now that you say so, if I don't attack, I will indeed be disrespectful to you. Naruto stretched and said lazily, let's finish breakfast and eat early. After staying in the forest of death for 5 days and eating barbecue for 5 days, my mouth is full of the smell of barbecue. Naruto put his hands together and quickly started forming seals. Naruto always felt that when releasing ninjutsu, the seals were powerful and ritualistic. Ninjutsu without seals has no soul. Therefore, on the premise of ensuring victory, Naruto is more willing to release ninjutsu through seals. This makes it more pretentious. No, Tamari was shocked by Naruto's seal speed, and her face changed slightly. This kid is so fast at forming seals. Naruto's hand seals are so fast. Xiao Li immediately exclaimed, it's really fast, no slower than Kakashi. Teacher Guy couldn't help but admire. Kakashi, as expected of you, you actually taught such an outstanding disciple. Does it have anything to do with me? Kakashi's mouth twitched. Fire-style great fireball technique. Naruto quickly completed the seal, his chest bulged high, and he opened his mouth to spit out a giant fireball. The great fireball emitted a dazzling crimson light, and the entire examination venue was illuminated in red. A scalding heat wave rushed towards them, roasting everyone watching the battle until their cheeks hurt. Let me go, Tamari shouted. The big iron fan in his hand suddenly opened 2 spaces, and then fanned out. Hoo-hoo. The big iron fan stirs up the airflow, forming a strong gust of wind that hits the great fireball. The great fireball was blown away in an instant, turning into sparks that filled the venue and finally disappeared. As expected of Sand Shinobi, the wind style is really cool. Naruto's face showed approval, but the speed of forming seals on his hands was not slow at all. Water-style water wave. Naruto completed the seal and clasped his hands together. Crash. High-speed rotating water flow appeared out of thin air all around, spinning and rising rapidly like a tornado. After rising to an altitude of more than 10 meters, the water flowed like a waterfall, crashing into Tamari with a terrifying impact. Water-style water wave. Third Hokage's pupils shrank. This is a B-level ninjutsu. Naruto can actually use B-level ninjutsu. He actually created such a large-scale water-style ninjutsu in a place without water. Third generation's little eyes widened, as if they couldn't believe what they were seeing. He is Grandmaster of the Chakra Nature Transformation with 5 attributes, and is good at using thousands of ninjutsu. Looking at the entire ninja world, in terms of understanding of the basic 5 release ninjutsu, third generation ranks second, and no one dares to rank first. He knew very well the meaning of Naruto's water-style move, which was not something ordinary genin could do. And Naruto's water rush reminded him of a person living in his memory. This seems to be a B-level ninjutsu water blast, right? He is a genin, but he can also use B-level ninjutsu. In such an environment without water, using such a large-scale water-style ninjutsu, the amount of chakra this kid has. The jonin present were all shocked and looked at Naruto in disbelief. Kakashi, is this the surprise you were talking about? Guy gave a thumbs up and exclaimed, I have to say, I was really shocked. He is indeed my lifelong rival. Not only is he powerful, but his ability to teach students is also top-notch. I'll teach you a dur. Kakashi blushed and felt a little embarrassed. Since becoming Naruto's teacher, he has only taught Naruto the 8 inner gates and not a single ninjutsu. I really don't dare to take credit. Naruto can use B-level ninjutsu. How can this be? Isn't Naruto a good guy? I remember when he graduated, he couldn't even use the clone technique, right? Illusion. It must be an illusion. Also shocked were a group of genin candidates who all looked at Naruto as if they had seen a ghost. Especially Konoha 11 Xiaoqiang, they have been classmates with Naruto for 6 years and know Naruto very well. Naruto in school had no ninja talent at all. The theoretical knowledge is very poor, the ninjutsu training is not good, the taijutsu is so-so, and the kunai throwing is terrible. It's good now, it's been just over a month since I last saw Naruto, and he actually knows how to use B-level ninjutsu. Everyone felt like they were in a dream. Naruto. Hinata stared at Naruto blankly, with a light in her eyes. Listening to the cheers of the audience, Kakashi felt funny in his heart, how could this happen? If you know that Naruto can use several B-level ninjutsu, and none of them require sealing, I'm afraid your jaw will drop, right? The other side. Not good. Seeing the terrifying water rushing towards him, the contempt on Temari's face had long since disappeared. Instead there was shock. B-level ninjutsu can easily kill Chunin, and is even powerful enough to severely injure Jonin. With her physical condition, once she is hit by the water wave, she will definitely die. Temari didn't dare to hold anything back, she opened all the big iron fans in her hands, and chakra surged out of her body. Wind-style Great Scythe Itachi. The big iron fan flapped violently. Hoo-hoo-hoo. A terrifying storm quickly took shape, forming a terrifying tornado that crashed into the incoming water waves. Boom. The terrifying shock wave exploded, forming a violent wind that swept through the entire venue. Under the bombardment of the Scythe Weasel, the water was blown up to the sky, and the spectators were soaked in the water. What a terrible destructive power. Is this really genin fighting? Even Chunin can't compare, right? Naruto is unexpected. This female ninja from Sand Shinobi is also not to be underestimated. She can actually catch water waves. The future life is terrible. After a moment, the storm and water slowly dissipated, revealing Naruto and Temari on the battlefield. Naruto stood there calmly, his face not red or out of breath, and he looked very angry. Temari, on the other hand, was panting heavily and very tired. It is obvious that the wind-style Daokama Itachi just now drained almost all of her chakra. Things are not good for Temari. Sand Shinobi's Baki, Kankuro looked worried. This kid from Konoha is so powerful, I really underestimate him. Kankuro said angrily. Uzumaki. Naruto. Gaara stared at Naruto. Long live Naruto. Come on Naruto. Xiaoli jumped up and down excitedly. Naruto, just go all out and defeat her. The center of the battle circle. Do you want to fight again? Naruto smiled and looked at Temari. I will never admit defeat. Although he was breathing heavily, Temari's eyes were firm. Then keep standing. Naruto smiled. I just learned a new ninjutsu recently, let me practice it with you. New ninjutsu. Temari's heart was racing. New ninjutsu. Kakashi and Sasuke looked at each other in surprise. Has Naruto learned any new ninjutsu recently? Have no idea. Aren't you together every day? The master and apprentice looked at each other. Shadow clone technique. The white mist exploded, and there were 4 more shadow clones around Naruto. This guy even learned shadow clone. Third generation's eyes were deep. But, what kind of ninjutsu actually requires the use of shadow clone? Everyone was also staring at Naruto. 5 Narutos stood in a row and quickly formed seals with their hands. 5 released Dalian bullet technique. The chests of the 5 Narutos bulged high, and they suddenly opened their mouths and spit out thunder, storm, water, fire, and earth dragon. The thunder and lightning are as thick as a hug. The diameter of the storm was several meters. The current is comparable to water rushing into waves. The flame is larger than the great fireball. The earth dragon is over 3 meters in diameter. The 5 attribute ninjutsu formed a composite ninjutsu, the 5 released Dalien bullet technique, and crashed into Temari. Impossible. Seeing Naruto's ninjutsu, third generation almost jumped up in shock. How could he know this ninjutsu? Third generation is so familiar with this ninjutsu. Because this is a compound ninjutsu that he just developed not long ago and is proud of. Before this, he had never taught anyone or demonstrated in front of anyone. How could Naruto? How could he? Who taught him that? Third generation can't figure it out. Complex, compound ninjutsu. Asuma, am I reading that right? Is this a compound ninjutsu? Hong's voice stuttered. It is a compound ninjutsu, and it is a 5 escape compound ninjutsu composed of 5 attributes of ninjutsu. Asuma's eyes almost popped out of his head when he saw it, and he didn't even know that the cigarette butt in his mouth fell out. This brat can actually use ninjutsu with 5 attributes. Could it be that he, like Mr. Third Generation, is also proficient in chakra nature transformation with 5 attributes? It's incredible. The average genin can only master 1 chakra nature transformation, but he actually mastered 5. This kid's talent in ninjutsu is too high. Amazing. It's really amazing. It's worthy of being. Is he Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Orochimaru, who was disguised as Otogakur and led the Jonin, was also staring directly at Naruto with a sparkle in his eyes. This ninjutsu talent is probably greater than that of Sarutobi sensei back then. As a disciple of the third generation, Orochimaru is very aware of how exaggerated his teacher's ninjutsu talent is. The third Hokage of the past was able to combine 5 ninjutsu with different attributes from an early age, showing even more outstanding ninjutsu abilities than the second Hokage. Therefore, it is deeply appreciated by second Hokage, and even the ninja god first Hokage also praised third generation. Since the third generation, there have been many geniuses in Konoha, but none of them can match the talent of the third generation in ninjutsu. Even Konoha Sannin, who is a disciple of the third generation and famous throughout the ninja world, can't do it. Teacher, you should be very excited when you see this kid, right? Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. Is this still Naruto? Why can Naruto use ninjutsu with 5 attributes? When did Naruto learn this jutsu? Quote. The 11 strong men in Konoha were all numb. Including Sasuke. Sasuke and little Sakura know Naruto best among the little ones. But at this moment, they discovered that they were wrong. They don't know Naruto at all. This guy always surprises people. My heart really can't stand it. Kakashi also felt helpless to complain. Kakashi, Naruto is only 12 years old, right? Guy's expression was very serious, rarely without youthful enthusiasm. It's really hard to imagine how Naruto at this age can master such a difficult compound ninjutsu. The whole audience was amazed. Temari, the person involved, was frightened. She looked at the 5 escape and large volume bullets that were blasting towards her. She was so frightened that her pretty face turned pale, and she completely forgot to dodge. There's no use dodging. The coverage of Wooden Dalianton technique was very wide, basically covering the entire venue. Where could she escape to? At the critical moment, Jonin Baki, led by Sand Shinobi, took action and was in front of Temari in a flash. Earth-style wall. A wall of earth rose. Rumble. The Wooden Dalian bombs bombarded the earth wall, causing a horrific explosion, and smoke and dust instantly enveloped the venue. After a long time, the smoke and dust dispersed. Ahem. There was a cough. Everyone looked over and saw that the earth wall in front of Temari had been blown to pieces. Baki half crouched in front of the earth wall, coughing violently, and blood continued to ooze from his mouth. Sand Shinobi leader Jonin is injured. How can this be? Nothing is impossible. Being hit head-on by that terrifying compound ninjutsu will tell your fortune if you don't die. Naruto can actually severely injure Jonin. Could it be that his combat power is already comparable to Jonin's? Incredible. Everyone was amazed again. As the person involved, Naruto remained very calm, as if he had done an insignificant thing. Sand Shinobi-san, do you want to fight again? Naruto looked at Temari with a small smile. Temari was well protected by Baki and was not injured, but was affected by the explosion and was a little disfigured. I surrender. Temari looked at Naruto with a complicated face, with fear, wonder, disbelief, and lingering fear in his eyes. It's impossible not to admit defeat. She was really scared just now. If Teacher Baki hadn't taken action in time, she would definitely have died. Again, the moment Baki took action, she had already lost. You are a very talented wind-style ninja, and I look forward to playing against you next time. Naruto smiled and praised before disappearing. Temari was stunned and looked at Naruto's back, unable to recover for a long time. She disdained Naruto's various taunts before the game, expecting that he would be ridiculed by him after losing. As a result, instead of doing this, Naruto said that she was talented in wind style, which made Temari a little ashamed. At the same time, strange emotions were growing in my heart. Naruto, you are so hidden, you mastered such a difficult ninjutsu without saying a word. Naruto, how on earth did you do that? Naruto, are you really the same Naruto as before? I feel like I don't recognize you at all. Naruto. As soon as Naruto returned to the viewing platform, he was surrounded by Xiao Chang, who were all chattering and asking questions. It's so cool to pretend to be real. Naruto felt very happy, but with a calm smile on his face. I just used Shadow Clone to release the 5-attribute ninjutsu. This is actually not difficult. Easier said than done. That's right, I have only mastered one main attribute ninjutsu so far, and I can't use the other attributes at all. Naruto, how do you train? Electronic screen scrolling. The game continues. Game 6. Nara Shikamaru vs Jin, Shikamaru 1. Game 7. Tenten vs Inuzuka Kiba, Tenten wins. In the 8th game, it was finally Hinata and Neji's turn. Since they are both members of the Hyuga clan, the battle between Hinata and Neji is also eye-catching. Hinata, come on. Naruto pinched Hinata's little face and encouraged. Just do your best, it doesn't matter if you lose. Naruto knew that Hinata was no match for Neji at this stage, so he didn't put any pressure on her. However, when Hinata heard Naruto's encouragement, she felt great courage and sighed heavily. The battle between the two soon started. The gap in hard power is too big. Even though Hinata tries her best, she is still vulnerable to Neji. Hinata didn't give up. She stood up again and was knocked away again and again. In the end, she was beaten with scars. Miss Hinata, stop struggling fearlessly, you can't be my opponent. Neji looked indifferent. I'll give you a piece of advice, give up being a ninja, you don't have the talent to be a ninja. This is the reality gap. A person's fate is determined from the moment he is born, and so is your ninja talent. Everyone looked at Hinata with sympathy and were touched by Hinata's spirit of never giving up. Naruto felt very uncomfortable. Hinata was the girl he liked and his future wife. It feels so bad to watch your woman being beaten by someone else. She can't stand up. Kakashi sighed. Neji's attack just now hit her heart. It's impossible to stand up again. However, before Kakashi finished speaking, Hinata actually struggled to stand up again. You actually stood up again. This guy has such tenacious perseverance. The whole place was in an uproar. Hinata struggled to stand up, with blood hanging from the corners of her mouth, but she looked at Naruto with a sweet smile. The next second, Hinata opened her Byakugan and rushed towards Neji again. Naruto, I have been watching you silently, for all these years. I am very timid and weak, but I don't know why, just looking at you makes my heart full of courage, making me feel that my life in this world is valuable. Naruto, I used to look at you, but today, it's finally your turn to look at me. Being looked at by the person I like. I can't let you see my embarrassing look. I told you, you don't have the talent to be a ninja. After Neji said this indifferently, chakra gathered on the palm of his hand and hit Hinata in the abdomen. Neji used all his strength in this punch and didn't hold back anymore. As long as she is hit, Hinata will be seriously injured or not killed. Bada. Just when Neji's right palm was about to fall on Hinata, a figure appeared instantly and grabbed Neji's fist. Who? Neji looked at the person. The visitor was clearly Naruto. That's so fast. When did this guy show up? Neji's expression changed drastically. He didn't realize how Naruto appeared just now, and he suddenly appeared. Not only Neji was also shocked, but also third Hokage, Kakashi, Guy and others. How did Naruto get there just now? Did you see it? I do not see it. I didn't see it either. What a speed. Kakashi, did you see that? Guy looked solemnly and looked at Kakashi beside him. Kakashi possesses the Sharingan and has unparalleled insight. He believes that Kakashi should have captured Naruto's movements. No, I didn't see his movement trajectory at all. Kakashi stared straight at Naruto. It's like he suddenly appeared in front of Hinata. Suddenly appeared. Guy was a little stunned. If it appears suddenly, it's not an ordinary body flicker technique. There are many types of body flicker technique. Any technique that can achieve a body flicker effect is considered a body flicker technique. However, the general body flicker technique actually moves at high speed. Because the movement speed is too fast, it causes the effect of teleportation, but this is not a real teleportation. Sharingan can catch such high-speed moving body flicker technique. However, Kakashi failed to capture Naruto's movement. This was obviously not an ordinary body flicker technique. Could it be? Kakashi and Guy looked at each other, both seeing shock in each other's eyes. No way, Kakashi. Guy couldn't believe it. Right. Kakashi was also a little unsure. That technique is impossible for ordinary people to master. Throughout Konoha, only the second generation and the fourth Hokage have mastered this technique. But Naruto has so many surprises for people. He may not be able to do things that others can't do. Naruto, how many secrets do you have? Kakashi's eyes were deep. The other side. It's you. Neji retracted his palm and stared at Naruto coldly. This is a battle between me and her, you have no right to interfere. I admit defeat on her behalf. Naruto glanced at Neji coldly, picked up Hinata and disappeared, and when he reappeared, he returned to the viewing platform. So fast. Kakashi's pupils shrank sharply, and he felt a turmoil in his heart. Is it really that technique? Kakashi, can you see clearly this time? Guy asked quickly. No, Kakashi shook his head. I couldn't see it clearly twice in a row. It seems to be Master 4th Generation's technique without a doubt. Guy looked amazed. How many high-level ninjutsu does this guy master? Who knows? Kakashi shook his head and sighed helplessly. He found that he couldn't understand Naruto more and more. Naruto placed Hinata on the ground. Everyone immediately gathered around. Hinata, are you okay? Hinata, how are you? Medical class. Where is the medical class? I'm fine. Hinata held back her head and coughed violently, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Hinata, everyone was anxious. Do not talk. Naruto put his arms around Hinata's neck, let her rest on his lap, rolled up his sleeves, and stretched his arms to Hinata's mouth. Hinata, bite me. Naruto, what are you doing? Hinata was so seriously injured and you let her bite you. What the hell are you doing? Everyone felt baffled. Naruto ignored everyone and just said to Hinata, stop talking. Bite me. Hurry up. Hinata listened to Naruto's words very much, so she blushed and lightly bit Naruto's arm. Harder. Naruto said angrily. Under Naruto's repeated urging, Hinata bit Naruto hard, and then, something amazing happened. Hinata's face quickly turned rosy, and the injuries on her body also improved visibly. In just a few moments, Hinata recovered completely and stood up like a normal person. This scene shocked everyone. Ju is actually fine. What's going on? What's going on? Why did Hinata bite Naruto and heal? Naruto, what did you do? Naruto, how am I okay? Hinata stared at Naruto with tears rolling down her eyes. This is one of my abilities, it can help others recover from physical injuries quickly. Naruto smiled, touched Hinata's head again, and said angrily, didn't I tell you before the game not to hold on? If you can't beat, just admit defeat. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But. Hinata wrung her fingers again. She wanted to say I don't want you to see me embarrassed, but she was too timid to say it out loud. No matter what time, living is the most important thing. Only when you are alive, you have infinite hope. Naruto warned. This is just an ordinary exam, just do your best. As long as you try your best, it doesn't matter if you lose. Find your own shortcomings, practice hard when you go back, and just win back next time. Even if you lose next time, there will be a next time, and a next time. As long as you live, you can always win. Ninjas are people who can endure everything. It's just winning or losing, it's not that important. Hearing these words, the Jonin present nodded their heads. Guy felt the same way. Naruto is right, youth is about winning and losing at the same time. Winning or losing in the moment is not terrible. As long as you work hard to overcome difficulties, you will one day reach the peak of youth. Electronic screen scrolling. The Chunin exam continues. Game 9. Shaoli vs Gaara. This battle was the one that Naruto was most concerned about. Because he wants to be a thief. Naruto left the shadow clone where he was. The main body quietly hides, turns on Sharingan, and completely copies Shaoli's physical skills. It's true that Naruto has practiced 8 inner gates, but Naruto hasn't practiced the taijutsu that goes with 8 inner gates. This time is just an opportunity. Leaf Hurricane, Leaf Great Whirlwind, Power Prelude, Leaf Strong Whirlwind, Shadow Dance Leaf. Naruto's side was so good at copying, but Shaoli was miserable. He tried his best, but instead of defeating Gaara, he was defeated by exhaustion. Gaara did not let go of Shaoli, and crushed Shaoli's left leg with a move of sand-binding coffin. By the end of the fight, Shaoli had completely lost consciousness, but his body still maintained a fighting posture. The whole audience was moved by it. However, during this period, Gaara was extremely bloodthirsty and murderous, and had no intention of letting Shaoli go. He was about to crush Shaoli to death with a sand coffin, but luckily Guy came to the rescue in time and saved Shaoli's life. But the diagnosis from the medical team plunged Guy into despair. Lee is too injured to continue being a ninja. Guy couldn't accept this result. He knew how much Shaoli had paid to become a ninja. In the end, it ended up like this, and Guy was heartbroken. Teacher Guy, don't be sad. Naruto teleported to Guy and smiled. Shaoli's injury is not serious, I can heal him. Not to mention that Naruto admired Shaoli very much, just because he had copied so many of Shaoli's physical skills just now. Naruto couldn't just die without saving him. Anyway, for him, it was just a bite from Shaoli. The benefits of saving Shaoli are obvious, and he can gain the gratitude of Guy and Shaoli. Why did Tsunade in the original book quickly gain support from everyone in Konoha after taking over as 5th Hokage? Her identity, fame, and strength are part of the reasons. Part of the reason is that Tsunade saved Shaoli, Sasuke, Kakashi, Choji. As a result, he gained a large number of fans. With so many people supporting him, even if Lao Yin is better than Danzo, he still has to be honest while Tsunade is in office. Real. Guy turned from sadness to joy. Naruto nodded. After Shaoli wakes up, we will treat him and let him have a good rest first. Naruto, thank you. Guy was so excited that he hugged Naruto and burst into tears. Sweat. In the final battle, Choji vs Toss 1. The preliminaries before the third round of the Chunin exam also ended, with only 10 people passing. Yakushi Kabuto voluntarily quit, and the number of 10 people became 9. They are Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Neji, Gaara, Uchiha Sasuke, Kankuro, Aburame Shino, Tenten, Nara Shikamaru, and Toss of the Sound Ninja Village. Third Generation finally announced that the third official game will be held in 1 month. Everyone then dispersed. The Konoha 12 heroes were not in a hurry to disband, and first went to the ninja hospital to visit Shaoli. Guy and Kakashi followed. Shaoli happened to wake up, so Naruto used physical healing to treat Shaoli, and Shaoli was resurrected with full health. Guy was so excited that he hugged his beloved and cried loudly, causing everyone to look at him with great disgust. In order to celebrate his beloved disciple's recovery, Guy was very generous and treated everyone to a meal. Everyone went to the barbecue restaurant again, had a delicious meal of barbecue, and dispersed very late. When Naruto got home, it was almost 11 o'clock in the evening. As soon as he entered the house, he found someone at home. Came back. An old voice sounded. Third generation old man. Naruto was a little surprised. Why don't you turn on the light? Turning on the light disperses the darkness, revealing the old third Hokage wearing a Hokage hat. Is Shaoli okay? Third generation asked gently. Already healed. Naruto nodded. The abilities of your Uzumaki clan are truly amazing. The third generation sighed, and its deep eyes fell on Naruto. Naruto, have you learned Flying Thunder God? Right, Naruto didn't hide it either. When Naruto used it in front of so many people this afternoon, he knew that people would notice. Just recognize him if you recognize him, it doesn't matter Naruto. From the moment he mastered the perfect sage mode, Naruto no longer feared anyone in Konoha. Even though they had seen it, third generation still couldn't help but be amazed when Naruto admitted it himself. You are only 12 years old and you have already mastered Flying Thunder God. It seems that your talent in space and time ninjutsu is equally extraordinary. Third generation looked admiring. It's been a long time since I met a child as talented as you. What a pity. What a pity. Third generation old man, what's the pity? Naruto wondered. It's a pity that I didn't discover your talent a few years earlier, otherwise I would have accepted you as my disciple and taught you well. Third generation said with regret. Now, I am old and can no longer do what I do. There are two things that third generation regrets most in this life. One is not guiding Orochimaru into the right path. The second is that he has not found a disciple who can give him all his money. Sannin is already very good, but in the eyes of third generation, he has not inherited his legacy. Tsunade developed medical ninjutsu. Orochimaru is obsessed with immortality. On the contrary, Jiraiya, who is the least talented, has mastered most of his mainstream ninjutsu, but that's all. The third generation grandmaster has all the ninjutsu in Konoha, so he naturally hopes to have a disciple who can inherit these ninjutsu. It's a pity that I haven't found the right person yet, and now I finally have, but third generation is getting old. Coupled with the defection of his beloved disciple Orochimaru, the third generation was dealt a heavy blow, and he had long lost his ambition to teach his disciples. Naruto, what do you think of the village? Third generation suddenly asked. I love it here, Naruto answered. After coming here for so long, Naruto still likes Konoha quite a lot. It is true that there is a lot of darkness in Konoha, and there are also many ambitious careerists. But it doesn't matter. If you dare to mess with him, just get rid of him. As long as Naruto is strong enough, any ghost or monster will be nothing more than a country dog. Get rid of them and the pesky cockroaches will disappear. As for the darkness, where is the darkness? Unless all human beings are extinct, there will be darkness wherever there is light. This is inevitable. Yes, the village is our home. All of us are part of this family. The third generation looked at Naruto with a pleased expression, and then took out a thick book that looked like a dictionary. Take it, Naruto. Third generation old man, what is this? Naruto took it doubtfully. This is all the ninjutsu I have mastered throughout my life as grandmaster, as well as my experience in practicing these ninjutsu. Third generation chuckled and said, I am already old, and the biggest regret in my life is that I have not found an ideal disciple to inherit my ninjutsu. Fortunately, Naruto, you showed up. It's not too late. I'll leave this to you for safekeeping. Third generation said happily. You are very talented, I hope this thing can be of some help to you. The third generation patted Naruto on the shoulder, turned and left. Quote. Naruto didn't expect that the third generation would give him such an important thing, and he had mixed feelings. Third generation, it's hard to evaluate Naruto. All I can say is that he is a qualified Hokage. Naruto picked up the book, with the words, Konoha Shinobi Jutsu Encyclopedia, written on the cover. Naruto opened it and read it, and found that there were thousands of ninjutsu recorded on it, including ninjutsu, genjutsu, and sealing techniques. Basically all Konoha's ninjutsu except blood succession limits, ninja secret techniques, and time and space ninjutsu are available here. In particular, the conventional 5-release ninjutsu and 5-release compound ninjutsu are very comprehensive, and many of them have notes on their training experiences. So comprehensive, Naruto exclaimed. This thing is a priceless treasure, the kind that can cause a bloody storm in the ninja world. Pity. Hokage is a world that pays attention to blood. No matter how many ninjutsu you master, you can't compare to a pair of eyes. How ironic. Indeed, looking at the entire Hokage world, anyone who can be related to Otsutsuki and Six Paths is awesome. It's too difficult for ordinary people to stand up. Having said that, Naruto still planned to learn some valuable ninjutsu to enrich his arsenal of ninjutsu. He now has perfect sage mode, and any ninjutsu can explode dozens of times more powerfully. It won't hurt to learn a few more ninjutsu. In the next few days, Naruto stayed at home, selecting suitable ninjutsu. After selecting, let the shadow clones be responsible for the training. Hundreds of shadow clones practice together, and the efficiency is explosive. Even A-level ninjutsu can be performed to perfection in up to 3 days, while B-level ninjutsu only takes 2 days. Earth-style yellow Kwanuma, shuriken shadow clone, telescope technique, dark technique, clone explosion, tandem paper bombs, fire dragon flame bombs, earth dragon bombs, earth flowing river. With continuous practice, Naruto's arsenal of ninjutsu becomes more and more abundant, and he has more and more ways to deal with enemies. The only thing that made Naruto depressed was that he didn't get anything good in the lottery in the past few days. The best prize is actually Temari's wind-style Dasama Itachi. Can you believe it? Naruto was depressed but had no choice. On this day, Naruto was practicing 8 inner gates in the forest, when a teasing voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Hey, you kid, you are working so hard. Naruto looked up and saw a tall, burly man standing on a tree trunk not far away. He has white hair reaching his waist, red marks on his face, and a forehead protector with the word, oil, written on it. Wearing a red coat with a brown lining, wooden clogs on his feet, and armor on his hands. Isn't this Jiraiya? Naruto was surprised. If you think about it carefully, that's right. During this period, Jiraiya seemed to have indeed returned to Konoha and brought Naruto to practice summoning techniques, Rasengan, and helping Naruto master the power of 9 tails seemed to have been taught during this period. Who are you? Naruto pretended not to know. Good question. Jiraiya fell to the ground in the air, posed in an exaggerated pose, and shook his flowing white hair. Toad Sage is just my name that deceives the world. In fact, I am the white-haired boy known to everyone from east to west, the Toad Messenger, and Jiraiya, who is also known as Toad Sage. Seeing Jiraiya's funny appearance, Naruto wanted to laugh, but felt it was inappropriate. I endured it but couldn't hold it back, and finally burst out laughing. He knew Jiraiya was a funny guy, but he didn't expect this guy to be so funny. He couldn't help it, and he laughed so hard. Hey, kid, what are you laughing at? Jiraiya looked embarrassed and shouted dissatisfied. I laugh at you for being such a joke. Naruto complained in his heart, but said on his face, it's nothing, I just think the way you appear, well, it's cool. I guess you have a lot of vision. Jiraiya's face softened slightly. Hey, kid, I see you are practicing taijutsu. Do you like taijutsu? Let Shadow Clone learn ninjutsu and Naruto practice 8 inner gates to build up his physical fitness. The division of labor is very clear. Jiraiya asked this question after seeing Naruto practicing his taijutsu. No, I prefer ninjutsu to taijutsu. Naruto rolled his eyes, but I have already mastered all the ninjutsu that can be learned. I don't have any new ninjutsu to learn. Jiraiya has good things in his hands, such as the summoning technique. Naruto is very interested in the summoning technique. You kid, you have such a bad tone. Jiraiya raised his eyebrows slightly. Tell me, how many ninjutsu have you mastered in total? Not many, just 30 or 50 kinds. Naruto said modestly. When Jiraiya heard this, his eyes almost popped out. Hey, kid, don't brag. How old are you? How can you master so many ninjutsu? You do not believe. Naruto looked defiant. Believe it or not. Jiraiya hummed. If you can master the 5 Jonin techniques, I will grant you a request. The 5 ninjutsu mentioned by Jiraiya include 3 body technique. In other words, in Jiraiya's opinion, it is rare for Naruto to master 2 ninjutsu. It's a deal. Naruto smiled. Then I start. Let's do it, kid. Jiraiya twisted his neck. Whatever ninjutsu you know, just use it and let me see it. Good. Naruto knew that Jiraiya wanted to see his strength, so he didn't hide it and quickly formed seals with his hands. What a fast seal formation. Jiraiya's pupils narrowed. The first one, fire-style great fireball technique. Jiraiya exclaimed softly. It's actually AC level ninjutsu. You're not a bad kid. The second type, water-style water waves. Jiraiya's expression changed. Kid, you can even do the B-level ninjutsu water blast. The third type, fire-style fire dragon bullet. Jiraiya looked shocked. Can you also fire dragon bullets? The fourth type, wind-style great breakthrough. This time it's wind-style again. Kid, How many types of ninjutsu are you good at? Quote. Naruto really didn't hide his clumsiness and cast more than a dozen ninjutsu in a row. Jiraiya went from disbelief to surprise, shock, horror, and finally felt numb. Kid, are you really only 12 years old? Jiraiya's expression was extremely complicated, looking at Naruto like he was looking at a monster. Just now, Naruto used more than a dozen ninjutsu under his nose. And most of them were B-level ninjutsu, which made Jiraiya feel like he had seen a ghost. Replace it if it's fake. Naruto smiled slightly. Actually, I can master so many ninjutsu, there is a secret. The trick? What's the trick? Jiraiya was very curious. Naruto smiled and conjured hundreds of shadow clone on the spot. They're the trick. Jiraiya saw so many shadow clones and understood everything, and couldn't help but give a thumbs up. You actually use shadow clone to practice ninjutsu. You are such a talent. Okay, I lose. Tell me, what do you want? Then I'm not welcome. Naruto smiled slightly. I want to learn the summoning technique. Summoning is an alternative time and space ninjutsu among Hokage. It can summon summoning objects to fight for you. Naruto likes this skill very much and has been coveting it for a long time. Those big toads on Mount Myoboku have at least cage-level strength and are good helpers. Summoning technique, Jiraiya said angrily. Kid, you are so rude, you just started using the summoning technique. Naruto smiled and looked at him without saying anything. Okay. As a man, you must keep your word. I'll teach you the summoning technique. Jiraiya waved his hand. If it were anyone else, Jiraiya would definitely be reluctant to pass on the summoning technique to outsiders, such as Nagato and the three. But Naruto was different. He was both the child of his favorite disciple and a ninja of Konoha. Summoning jutsu is a ninjutsu that uses one's own blood to sign a contract with summoning creatures so that they can be summoned from another space at any time. Jiraiya explained lightly, and then said, I will demonstrate it to you first, watch it carefully. Jiraiya bit off his left thumb, smeared blood on his right hand, and slammed the ground. Summoning technique. Boom. Smoke exploded. Suddenly a big toad appeared. This toad has a kind-faced face and looks very docile, with a scroll on its tongue. It's Toadata. Jiraiya summons a lot of toads, and Toadata is undoubtedly the one who appears very frequently. Its ability is unknown, and it is often used as a mount for Jiraiya to travel. Its main responsibility is to keep the summoning contract. Jiraiya stood just above Toadata, with his arms folded across his chest, looking at Naruto proudly. Kid, aren't you awesome? Sharp. Naruto gave a thumbs up. You have great vision. Jiraiya waved, and Toadata stuck out his tongue and placed the scroll in front of Naruto. Kid, this is the contract scroll. Jiraiya smiled lightly and said, open it, sign your name with your own blood, and press the one-hand fingerprint. Next, condense the chakra where you want to summon it, and place the hand that signs the contract. The Indian style is Hai Shuyu Shen Wei. Naruto did as he was told and began his first summons. Summoning technique. Boom, boom. A burst of white mist rose, and a small red toad appeared. Kid, you summoned me. Speak in advance. If you come to me for anything, give me some snacks first. The little toad lay on the ground and threatened with an arrogant look, otherwise, I won't play with you. Toji. Naruto looked at the little toad in front of him in shock. The first time I summoned this guy. Gamaji is the son of Gamabunta, the boss of Gama, and is a brother to Gamalong. I was able to summon Tomoji for the first time, which is pretty good. Jiraiya praised. The first time he summoned a tadpole was a tadpole. Compared to him, Naruto is already very good. Naruto was not satisfied. After getting up every morning, Naruto would divide hundreds of shadow clone to practice, and he had done it again just now. Chakra will be summoned only when the chakra is basically exhausted. But that's okay. Kurama, give me some chakra. Take it and use it. Kurama quickly passed a part of the chakra over. Red chakra immediately filled Naruto's body, wrapping Naruto into a red chakra coat. This is Nine Tails chakra. Jiraiya's pupils shrank. Can Naruto already control Nine Tails chakra? Summoning technique. Naruto pressed his right hand to the ground, and the black summoning curse pattern spread like a spider web. Boom! A huge white mist exploded. A huge creature appeared on the spot. He had a pipe in his mouth, a bandage around his waist, a black vest, and a giant dagger. His temperament is more social than that of Toji, and he looks like he is a social person, but he is ruthless and doesn't talk much. Dad! Gamaji shouted happily. Jiraiya looked at the giant toad at his feet in shock. Oops. How did you summon it? Naruto also looked at the huge thing at his feet, with dark red skin, a huge pipe, a short sword. There is no doubt that this is Gamabunta. Not bad. Gamabunta summoning came out in no time. Naruto was quite happy. Gamabunta is one of the most powerful toads in Mount Myoboku, and is a brother to Gagahiro and Gamatake. Gamaji, why are you here? Bunta glanced at his son and then at Jiraiya. Jiraiya, why did you ask me to come out? Its voice was very loud, like thunder, which scared the little animals in the forest to tremble. Bunta, you made a mistake. It wasn't me who summoned you, it was this brat. Jiraiya said with a sneer. Gamabunta has a bad temper and is very social, so Jiraiya usually doesn't dare to summon him. Gamabunta's eyes moved up, and when he saw Naruto above his head, he laughed loudly. Jiraiya, do you want to laugh me to death for inheriting my toad oil? Can a brat summon me Bunta? Being underestimated, Naruto was a little unhappy and shouted, I summoned you, why, you don't believe it? Gamabunta is a social toad, and the best way to gain its approval is to flex his muscles. Once you are convinced, they will naturally recognize you. Boy, so what if you summon me? I, Gamabunta, don't recognize you. Gamabunta snorted coldly. It's a rare time to come out and get some fresh air. Gamakichi, let's go. Gamabunta took long strides and walked forward. It's too big. Along the way, trees were broken and the ground trembled, causing a huge movement. As expected of an old gangster among summoning beasts. Naruto sighed in admiration, and in a flash, he was in front of Gamabunta. Come on. Fight with me. Kid, get out of my way, I'm not interested in playing house with you. Bunta opened his mouth and spat out, and a strong air flow swept out, trying to blow Naruto away. Naruto dodged and avoided the airflow. Haha, you are actually being looked down upon by a toad. Okay, let's see if lousy doesn't convince you. Naruto snorted secretly, quickly formed seals with his hands, and yelled, Earth-style yellow Kwanuma. The ground rumbled and shook, and the ground under Buntai's feet instantly turned into a black swamp. Earth-style yellow springs Numa is a ninjutsu that Naruto learned from the 3rd generation's ninjutsu collection. Naruto borrowed the Nine Tails chakra. The range of the technique was very large, and Bunta sank uncontrollably towards the depths of the swamp. Kid, are you serious? Wentai became furious and kicked his hind legs to jump out of the swamp, but he sank deeper with all his strength. Wentai could only stir up the swamp and swim out of the swamp. Naruto didn't stop there, he continued to form seals with his hands, Earth-style Earth Dragon Bullet. An Earth Dragon rose up from Naruto's feet, opened its mouth, and sprayed out stone bullets like a machine gun. The stone bullets rubbed the air and hit Wentai with a rumble. These stone bullets were not big enough to cause fatal damage to Wentai, but they were very painful when they hit her body. Wentai grinned in pain and roared angrily, Kid, you pissed me off. Water-style T-Pow Jade. Bunta puffed up his mouth, opened his mouth suddenly, and spit out a large water ball, hitting Naruto. This water polo is about the same size as Wentai, and its scale is astonishing, with a diameter of more than 30 meters. Instead of being afraid, Naruto looked excited. Finally I found a worthy opponent. Looking at the iron gun Jade spit out by Bunta, Naruto did not dodge, and quickly formed seals with his hands. Wind-style Great Scythe Itachi. Naruto breathed out a storm, stirring up the airflow and forming a terrifying tornado, which crashed into Teppanyama. Rumble. The iron gun Jade and the big sickle weasel collided together and exploded, erupting in an earth-shattering shock wave. It was like a typhoon passing through, sweeping in all directions. The surrounding trees were in ruins, with countless branches broken or uprooted. Come again. Naruto shouted. Water-style water wave. Naruto threw ninjutsu after ninjutsu at Gamabunta as if he was free of charge. Gamabunta was able to handle it with ease at first, but gradually, he felt a little unable to do it. It is too big and consumes a lot of energy and chakra, making it unable to fight for a long time. Naruto is different. With Nine Tails Chakra Ammunition Depot, Naruto is not afraid of chakra consumption at all. No fight, no fight. Kid, no fight, I approve of you. You will be my boss from now on. Wentai was so exhausted that he finally gave in and gave in. Naruto smiled. A social frog like Wentai will be weak if you are strong, and will be domineering if you are weak. He is naturally bullying the weak and afraid of the strong. If you want it to be obedient, you can only show your muscles. If you convince it, it will naturally become obedient. Since Bunta had admitted defeat, Naruto naturally would not embarrass it and gave Bunta enough face. What's the difference between the boss and the boss? If we don't fight each other, we won't know each other, and we will be friends from now on. My name is Naruto, please take care of me. Bunta felt that it was very honorable. Look, he is so eloquent and much cuter than the Jiraiya. Hello Naruto, nice to meet you. Wentai's attitude immediately improved a lot. Next, Naruto chatted with it for a while, getting closer to each other, and Bunta returned to Mount Myoboku. As soon as Bunta left, Jiraiya, who was hiding in an unknown corner, popped up again with complicated eyes. What a boy, you actually conquered Wentai. Now I wonder if you are 12 years old. Naruto rubbed his belly. If Kurama hadn't provided chakra, I wouldn't be Bunta's opponent. Kurama. Jiraiya was stunned. That's Nine Tails. Naruto smiled. Jiraiya's pupils shrank. Have you seen Nine Tails? Not only did we meet, but we became very good friends. Naruto shrugged and said calmly, many of my ninjutsu were taught by Kurama. Jiraiya was shocked and looked like he had seen a ghost. You actually became friends with Nine Tails. But this is a good thing. Jiraiya has traveled all over the world and has seen a lot, so he naturally knows what it takes to perfect Jinchuriki. As long as Jinchuriki and the tailed beast reach reconciliation and become friends, they can control the power of the tailed beast. From the current point of view, Naruto is doing very well, which makes Jiraiya very happy and incredible. Kushina spent so many years, unable to become friends with Nine Tails, but Naruto actually did it. Naruto, you did a good job. To reward you, I'll treat you to a meal. What do you want to eat? Jiraiya said with a smile. Ichiraku ramen. Good. The two went to Ichiraku ramen house and ate several bowls of ramen. Naruto reciprocated by inviting Jiraiya to a hot spring. Well, it was a mixed bathing type for both men and women. Jiraiya was so happy that while soaking in the hot springs, sipping wine, admiring the beautiful women, he praised Naruto for being very good at things, and especially suited his temper. In fact, Naruto himself wanted to soak in a hot spring and practice the 8 inner gates for a day, but his back and muscles ached. It's really comfortable to soak in a hot spring. For the next time, Naruto practiced as usual. Shadow Clone practices ninjutsu. Ontological practice 8 inner gates. Jiraiya is invisible during the day, but appears on time at night. Either taking Naruto to the hot springs or going to the pub to drink. The key is that this guy is very picky and always asks Naruto to treat him. Naruto didn't really care. Since extorting 10 billion from Kaduo, he has no shortage of money. How much can he spend on hot springs and drinks? Just have fun. Jiraiya is very good at playing. Naruto was too young to go to many places, but with Jiraiya taking him, there would be no problem. Over the past month, Naruto had been to many places around Konoha that minors were not allowed to enter. Time passed quietly, and in a blink of an eye, the day of the official Chunin exam came. Konoha village is very lively today, and the village gate is wide open. The great names of the Kingdom of Fire, the great names of the Kingdom of Wind, princes, dignitaries, wealthy businessmen and other dignitaries came in droves. Konoha village is decorated with lights and colorful ribbons everywhere, and the villagers are also wearing red and green, and they are full of joy. The village is very lively, just like celebrating New Year. Naruto and 8 other genin were summoned to the venue. The seats above the venue, which was surrounded by high walls, were packed. There are daimyo, princes, dignitaries, ninjas from the allies, ninjas from Konoha, and civilians. There is also Anbu wearing an animal mask, hiding throughout the venue to guard against emergencies. In fact, although Konoha is very lively today, the ninjas responsible for security are already on standby. The entrance to the village, the school, the hospital, especially the Chunin exam venue, have long been surrounded by ninjas. The third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the fourth Kazekage disguised as Orochimaru sit in the most prominent position. Master Third Hokage, you are already old. You should choose your successor as soon as possible to avoid having no successor. Orochimaru said in a hoarse tone with insinuations. Third generation laughed. I feel very young, I can work for at least 10 years. Of course this is a joke. Third generation is already 69 years old this year, turning 70 in the blink of an eye. This age is absolutely advanced for ninjas. But there is no other way. Konoha now has no successors. The third Hokage has not yet found a suitable successor and cannot retreat even if it wants to. Afterwards, third generation gave a speech, and the third test of the Chunin exam officially kicked off. Game 1. Whirlpool Naruto vs Hyuga Neji. Naruto, come on. Come on Naruto, defeat this arrogant guy and avenge Hinata. Naruto, you are the strongest. Quote. The top 10 of Konoha cheered Naruto on. Even Xiao Li was cheering Naruto on. Only Tiantian looked embarrassed. As Neji's teammate, she wanted to cheer Neji on. But no matter how you look at it, Neji can't beat Naruto. The gap between the two is really too big. Naruto, come on. Hinata put her hands on her chest and silently prayed for Naruto. Naruto, let me see how far you've come. Sasuke turned on the Sharingan and stared at Naruto. He was not willing to be suppressed by Naruto, so he practiced hard for the past month. Now, Sasuke has been able to activate the second state of the Heavenly Curse Seal and adapted well. In the second state, Sasuke felt that his strength had increased by leaps and bounds, and the increase was exaggerated. Sasuke has the confidence to challenge Naruto, and he also wants to challenge Naruto and defeat Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro stood together, also staring at Naruto in the center of the venue. This guy. Temari's eyes were complicated. The battle with Naruto has been deeply imprinted in her soul, and she will never forget it in her life. Naruto and Neji stood facing each other. Next to him is the invigilator Shiranui Genma, and that sick man of the moon Hayate should be killed by now. Shiranui Genma briefly explained the rules of the competition and announced the start of the competition. The whole audience cheered instantly and applauded thunderously. Naruto, I know you're powerful. Neji stared at Naruto and said in a cold voice, but if you think you can win me, you are totally wrong. What you Hyuga clan is best at is taijutsu. To be precise, it's the Hyuga-style gentle fist method, right? Naruto smiled lightly. Since you are good at taijutsu, I won't bully you and fight you with taijutsu. What do you mean? Neji's expression changed. You look down on me. Naruto was obviously good at ninjutsu, but he still wanted to fight him with taijutsu, which made Neji feel humiliated. If you insist on thinking so, then whatever you want. Naruto shrugged, looking indifferent. After practicing 8 inner gates for so long, I have never had a suitable partner. It was rare to meet a master of taijutsu like Neji today, so Naruto naturally wouldn't let him go. Furthermore, Neji beat Hinata to the point of vomiting blood for a month, and Naruto wanted to vent his anger on Hinata's behalf. He just wanted to punch this guy with his fist. Hateful. Neji was irritated and rolled his eyes. Veins popped out around his eyes, looking a little ferocious. Bring it on. Naruto's eyes were filled with excitement. 8 inner gates. First gate open. Open. White air suddenly spurted out from Naruto's body, several veins appeared on his forehead, and blood vessels protruded. What? Impossible. Seeing Naruto's change, Guy, who was chatting and laughing with Kakashi and watching the game, immediately changed his face. This is 8 inner gates. Guy looked at his friend in disbelief. Kakashi, Naruto also learned 8 inner gates. Kakashi hummed lightly. Did you teach it? Guy asked. Kakashi nodded. Although I am really happy that Naruto can learn 8 inner gates, but... Guy's face turned ugly. Naruto has penultimate talent in ninjutsu. You want him to learn taijutsu? Guy thinks Naruto has gone astray, and a ninjutsu genius like Naruto should learn ninjutsu. Kakashi sighed helplessly. Guy, let's watch the game first. You will understand after watching it. Guy was a little confused, but still looked at Naruto. Naruto also learned the 8 inner gates. Xiao Li, isn't this your move? What's going on? Why does Naruto know Xiao Li's moves? This is unreasonable. Xiao Li, were you taught Naruto's 8 inner gates? Or was it taught by Mr. Guy? Quote. The Xiaoqiang people were so shocked that they started talking about it. At this moment, Xiao Li also looked confused. Naruto also knows the 8 inner gates. 8 inner gates. Third generation opened his eyes wide. Naruto actually knows 8 inner gates. Why does he practice 8 inner gates? Third generation is a bit sad. It is true that the power of 8 inner gates is indeed very powerful, but it is only powerful through practice. If you fail to practice it successfully, it will not only waste time, but also delay your ninjutsu practice, and the gain will outweigh the loss. However, there are very few ninjas who can master the 8 inner gates. After all, no one can persist in the hard work of overloading and exceeding the limit for many years. For this reason, most ninjas who are slightly talented in ninjutsu will not learn 8 inner gates. In other words, who can learn 8 inner gates if they are talented in ninjutsu? Only those mediocre ninjas who have no talent for ninjutsu and are desperate will practice 8 inner gates. They can go all the way to the dark side and achieve some success after 10 or 20 years of hard training, just like Xiao Li. In the eyes of the third generation, for a ninjutsu genius like Naruto, practicing 8 inner gates is a waste of time. Third Hokage-sama, this Uzumaki Naruto of Konoha seems to have gone astray. Orochimaru teased in a strange way. Third generation said nothing, but his face became increasingly ugly. Naruto had no idea that his use of 8 inner gates would trigger such a huge response. Even if he knew, Naruto didn't care. He just wanted to vent and show off his recent training achievements. 8 inner gates. Second gate Hyuga gate, open. 8 inner gates. Third gate Sheng gate, open. 8 inner gates. Fourth gate Injury gate, open. 8 inner gates. Fifth gate Duman, open. Naruto opened the 5th gate in one breath. Boom! Naruto's body became congested and red, veins popped out on his forehead, and his blood vessels bulged like a horned dragon. A terrifying green air flow emitted from his body, attacking the surroundings like a raging flame. The air was stirred, forming a hurricane, and all the dust and weeds on the ground were blown away. The 5th gate. Chapter 41. 8 inner gates. 5th gate. Everyone was shocked to see Naruto's change. Kakashi, how long has Naruto been practicing the 8 inner gates and he has reached the 5th gate? Guy looked at his friend in disbelief. More than 2 months. Kakashi said helplessly. 2 months. Guy jumped up immediately, driving to the 5th gate in 2 months. Are you kidding me? Who are you kidding? Kakashi shook his head. Naruto's talent in physical skills is not weaker than his talent in ninjutsu. I taught him 8 inner gates during my mission in the Country of Waves, just over 2 months ago. Guy was silent. Both his father, Might Dai, and he and Xiao Li had to practice for a long time before they could open the 5th gate. 2 months. After a long while, Guy smiled bitterly, with a shocked expression on his face. Is this genius? This is genius, Kakashi said in a weak tone. Although I don't want to admit it, the gap between a genius like Naruto and us feels bigger than the gap between humans and pigs. Yes, Guy agrees. 5th gate. Naruto actually drove to the 5th gate. Xiao Li was confused. Naruto, this guy actually mastered Xiao Li's moves. Sasuke was stunned. Third Hokage-sama, this brat named Uzumaki Naruto is also very talented in taijutsu. Orochimaru stared straight at Naruto. How long has he been practicing 8 inner gates, and he can actually open the 5th gate? I don't know either. Third generation was also confused. Surrounded by green air, his eyes turned snow white. Naruto felt the changes in his body and grinned. It hurts a little. Let's fight it quickly. Shua. Naruto's figure flashed and disappeared. The next moment, he was in front of Neji. So fast. When Naruto used 8 inner gates, Neji was on guard, or in other words, fully guarded. He watched the battle between Xiao Li and Gaara and knew how pervert Xiao Li was when he opened the 8 inner gates. How dare he neglect Naruto when he uses this move? Revolving Heaven. Neji did not hesitate to use the method of suppressing the bottom of the box. Boom. All the acupuncture points in Neji's body spurt out and release a large amount of chakra, and the body rotates at high speed, forming an airtight blue chakra protective shield around the body. As this revolving heaven, Hyuga Hiyashi stood up suddenly in the spectator seats and looked at Neji in shock. He, a member of the branch house, actually masters the secret technique that has been passed down orally from generation to generation in the Hyuga clan. Father. Young Hanabi looked at his father in confusion. Hyuga Hiyashi was silent. Revolving heaven. Naruto was a little disdainful. A shield can block swords, guns, swords and halberds, but can it block bullets and cannons? Absolute defense. In the face of absolute power, it is nothing more than a paper tiger, leaf great whirlwind. Naruto didn't hold back at all. He flew up and hit the chakra protective shield formed by revolving heaven. Naruto's physical fitness and chakra capacity destined him to use 8 inner gates to be far stronger than Xiao Li's. Both are the 5th gate, but what a difference. Boom. With the horrific explosion, the chakra protective shield formed by revolving heaven shattered. Neji felt as if he was hit head-on by a speeding locomotive and flew straight out. It flew more than 10 meters away before hitting the high wall heavily and falling to the ground again. Puff. Neji spat out a mouthful of blood and struggled to stand up, only to find that all the bones in his body seemed to be broken. Especially my 2 arms, I couldn't lift them up at all. Bada. Naruto walked towards Neji step by step, stopped 3 meters away from Neji, and said calmly. Is this your absolute defense? It's not that great. You can't even catch my kick. Neji was furious and spit out a few more mouthfuls of blood. You, don't be proud. There is no absolute defense. The so-called absolute is just relative to the same level. Naruto shook his head. When my power is 1 level, or even several levels, higher than yours, the so-called absolute defense is a joke. Also, I have no control over the matters between you and the Hyuga clan, and I don't care. But I don't want to see you involve Hinata in these dirty things again. After saying that, Naruto released the 8 inner gates state and turned around to leave. Before leaving, he suddenly said, "One more thing to say to you, birdcage can only trap sparrows, but it cannot trap eagles in the sky. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself all day long and complaining about the injustice of fate like a girl, why not stand up bravely and break this fate? If you try, even if you fail in the end, you can proudly tell yourself that you worked hard. If you don't even have the courage to try, people like you just deserve to be like a bird in a cage, with your children and grandchildren staying in that cage for the rest of your life. That's all I've said, so you can take care of yourself." Naruto turned and left calmly. Hyuga Neji was lying on the ground, thinking about Naruto's words in his mind, like a drum in the evening and a bell in the morning, deafening. In fact, not only Hyuga Neji, but also many people were shocked by Naruto's words. For example, Xiao Li and Guy are a pair of passionate masters and apprentices. After hearing Naruto's words, the master and apprentice were greatly shocked and regarded them as classics. Naruto said that very well. Guy burst into tears with excitement. Birdcage can only trap sparrows, but not the eagles in the sky. Instead of complaining about unfair fate, why not stand up bravely and break this fate? This is the declaration of youth. It is the testimony of passion. It is the spirit of youth that never gives up. The battle between Naruto and Neji was brief but had a huge impact. Especially what Naruto said at the end affected not only Guy and Xiao Li, but also Sasuke, Orochimaru and others. Sasuke became more determined to kill Uchiha Itachi and get revenge. Orochimaru thought of a lot. Looking at the entire Hokage world, Orochimaru can be said to be the most unwilling to surrender to fate. He lamented the fragility and brevity of life, so he painstakingly studied the immortality technique. Even if his reputation is ruined and he is expelled from the village, he will not hesitate to achieve something in the end. He longed for Sharingan, a powerful blood successor, and tried his best to trick Sasuke. It can be said that Orochimaru is the person who dares to show his sword to fate the most, and Naruto's words touched him the most. Master Third Hokage, this child is a born leader, and his future achievements are limitless. Orochimaru praised sincerely. Yes, the third Hokage's eyes flickered. Can fate also be changed? Gaara stared at Naruto in silence, thinking, and his eyes gradually became confused. The exam continues. Game 2, Kankuro vs Aburame Shino. In order to preserve his strength, Kankuro voluntarily gave up and surrendered. Aburame Shino won without a fight, which attracted boos from the audience. The third game, Nara Shikamaru vs Tiantian. Nara Shikamaru relied on his clever IQ to defeat Tenten. The fourth and final match finally comes to Uchiha Sasuke and Gaara. The fight between the two was very fierce. Sasuke used Shaoli's physical skills and shocked the audience. Shaoli was struck to the point of doubting his life, and he truly felt the gap between himself and genius. At the end of the fight, Sasuke hit Gaara with a Chidori, injuring Gaara, who was wrapped in a turtle shell. Gaara became even more violent after seeing the blood and released Shukaku's arm, scaring many people. Just at this time, white feathers floated in the sky. Seeing the feathers flying everywhere, the spectators felt like they were being invaded by the Sandman and fell into a deep sleep. Kabuto activated the illusion, Nirvana Abode technique. Only a handful of people who are good at deciphering illusions can decipher this illusion and stay awake. Such as Kakashi, Guy, some Anbu, and little Sakura, and everyone else was wiped out. Call out. A flare shot into the sky. Countless ninjas instantly appeared in the venue, taking off their disguises to reveal the costumes of Sand Shinobi and Sound Ninja. Konoha Anbu, who was hiding in the dark, and the ninjas responsible for security immediately came forward to greet him. Both sides fight together. Orochimaru, disguised as the fourth Kazekage, also rushed to the third generation in an instant and hijacked the third generation. Orochimaru's four subordinates, the four Sound Ninjas, immediately used the four purple flame formation. A red barrier enveloped the entire roof, enveloping Orochimaru and the third generation in a formation of four purple flames. Lord Hokage, Anbu rushed over anxiously, but he hit the four purple flame formation and was burned to ashes. At the same time, fierce fighting broke out throughout Konoha village. Sand Shinobi and Sound Ninja teamed up to attack all over Konoha. There was even a Sound Ninja summoning a three-headed snake. Konoha's collapse plan officially broke out. It finally begins. Naruto could clearly sense the changes in the village, and the flames of battle could not help but rise in his eyes. He has no strength but nowhere to show it, just like a little brother who is 20 centimeters long but can only master RB-te by himself. This is a very depressing thing. Therefore, Naruto has been waiting for Konoha's collapse plan. Naruto, little Sakura said in horror, "What's going on?" Little Sakura has a strong talent for illusions, and she noticed it the moment she launched the Nirvana Abode technique. He cracked the illusion in time and did not fall asleep. Who knows? Naruto shrugged. Shuashua, Kakashi and Guy suddenly appeared. Naruto, little Sakura, there are enemies attacking the village now, it's time to test you. Kakashi said seriously. You stay to protect the audience in the venue, do you understand? Yes, Kakashi-sensei. Little Sakura responded loudly. Okay, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto smiled slightly. Except for the cage-level battle here at the venue, Naruto had no interest in participating in the battles elsewhere. Orochimaru was right, Konoha had indeed been comfortable for too long. Being comfortable can easily lead to depravity and loss of bloodiness. Naruto knew it. The next ninja world will undergo earth-shaking changes, and comfort will kill people. Konoha now urgently needs a battle to change the depressed and loose atmosphere in the village. Lord Hokage, Anbu suddenly shouted. Everyone looked around. Then Orochimaru suddenly stabbed his hand with a kunai, and blood splashed onto the third generation's face. Lord Hokage, little Sakura shouted worriedly. Don't worry. Kakashi said. Master Hokage is the strongest ninja in our wood industry, he will be fine. Little Sakura breathed a sigh of relief. Third generation is also really awesome. Various ninjutsu and compound ninjutsu are at your fingertips, and you can fight Orochimaru easily. It wasn't until Orochimaru launched Impure World Reincarnation and Summoning came out first Hokage and second Hokage that the situation took a turn for the worse. Although the accuracy was not high this time, the first generation and second generation projects fully showed their true strength. But the two of them joined forces, and third generation was still overwhelmed. Coupled with Orochimaru, the old man, waiting for an opportunity to attack, the third Hokage is surrounded by dangers and is in a very bad situation. Certainly, a more important reason is, third generation is too old. At the age of 69, his body functions have severely deteriorated, and the chakra in his body has decreased significantly. The third generation had a wealth of combat experience and advanced ninjutsu skills, but they couldn't put them to use. Lord Hokage, Guy and little Sakura were extremely nervous, and even Kakashi, who was calm before, was now worried. Naruto, can you enter that barrier? Kakashi looked at Naruto quickly. Can. Naruto nodded. Now there are his marked flying thunder god spells everywhere in Konoha, and of course there is one on this rooftop too. Very good. Kakashi was overjoyed. Send me in quickly. Guy, come too. Let's go help Master Hokage. Good. Guy immediately agreed. Need not. Naruto waved his hand. To deal with Orochimaru, I am enough on my own, you can just watch my performance quietly. As soon as he finished speaking, Naruto disappeared from the spot. Boom. The third generation was kicked away by Orochimaru and lay on the ground for a long time without being able to get up. His eyes were blurred and he briefly lost consciousness. What's the matter, my dear teacher? Orochimaru's voice was hoarse and full of sarcasm. You are Grandmaster Hokage, the strongest Hokage among all the existing ninjutsu in Konoha and known as the Ninja Professor. The way you look now disappoints me. Ha ha ha. Orochimaru looked down at the third generation and laughed like a nervous wreck, with mockery in his laughter. Hokage-sama, stand up. Anbu shouted outside the barrier. Please stand up, defeat Orochimaru, and save the village. Others. Anbu was anxious and in disbelief. The third Hokage has always been the most powerful being in everyone's heart, and is also the strongest Hokage in history. At least, this is what third Hokage has promoted internally and externally for more than 40 years. But who would have thought that the third Hokage would be defeated so easily by Orochimaru? Idiot, it's too late. Orochimaru glared at Anbu with a cold look. Your third Hokage is just an old loser now, and you expect him to save you. How stupid. Third generation did not refute. His eyes were slightly lowered and he lay motionless on the ground, his consciousness not yet restored. Young man doesn't respect martial ethics and bullies old comrades. A slightly teasing voice suddenly sounded. Who? Orochimaru's face changed slightly and he immediately looked at the person. It's you, little brat. After seeing the person coming, Orochimaru was slightly surprised, but then he was relieved. He smiled evilly and said, You kid, you can actually enter this barrier. You really have mastered the fourth generation's flying thunder god technique. But you are also a stupid guy. Do you think you can save the third generation by yourself? The third generation also regained consciousness at this time, and immediately shouted after seeing Naruto, Naruto, go. Third generation is very optimistic about Naruto. He believes that Naruto's future achievements are limitless. But that's also the future. No matter how strong Naruto is now, how strong can he be? And this battle between him and Orochimaru is a Hokage-level battle, and Naruto can't get involved. Third generation old man, you are really old. Naruto looked at the third generation. After today, give up your throne as soon as possible and let others take care of themselves. Teacher, you heard me, even children think you are old. Orochimaru smiled evilly. Shut up, Orochimaru. Naruto was in front of Orochimaru in a flash. Then he flew up with a kick and hit Orochimaru right in the face. Orochimaru flew out like a cannonball. Naruto knelt down, helped third generation up, activated Flying Thunder God, and took him out of the four purple flame formation. Teacher Kakashi, the old man leaves it to you. Naruto handed the third generation to Kakashi and returned to the four purple flame formation. Orochimaru, I'll fight you. You kid, how dare you come back? Orochimaru stared at Naruto with his vertical eyes and smiled evilly. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Kill me? Can you kill me? Naruto sneered. With you, a hermaphrodite? Or with these two zombies? Haha, I was underestimated by a kid. Orochimaru smiled coldly, a cold light flashing in his vertical pupils. Kill this brat for me. Upon receiving Orochimaru's order, the first generation and second generation in filthy state immediately pounced on them. Although the two brothers cannot exert their full strength, their combat effectiveness cannot be underestimated. Shua. The two of them rushed to Naruto. Second generation swept his legs and attacked Naruto's lower body. First generation raised his fist and smashed Naruto's face. The two brothers, one attacking the upper lane and the other attacking the lower plate, work very well together, making it really difficult for ordinary people to avoid it. But Naruto was no ordinary person. Naruto flew up and hit second generation in the abdomen. Second generation flew out like a ball. Naruto grabbed first generation's fist again, shook it hard, and threw first generation away. The brothers didn't hesitate and pounced on him again. In their filthy state, they are tireless and have no emotions such as fear. They are completely killing machines. They swooped in again and again, and surrounded Naruto again and again, but were easily defeated by Naruto. Seeing this scene, Orochimaru, Kakashi, Guy, Anbu and others who were watching the battle were all shocked. Is Naruto's taijutsu so powerful? Guy was a little unbelievable. He obviously didn't open the 8 inner gates, but his speed, strength, agility, and neurological reactions are so strong. With Guy's eyesight, he could tell at a glance that Naruto was not using the 8 inner gates. I don't know either. Kakashi shook his head. This brat's physical skills are on par with those of first generation and second generation. Anbu was horrified. The third generation also regained its composure at this moment, breathing heavily, staring directly into Naruto's eyes. Facial makeup. Could it be that Naruto has mastered Sage Mode? No. Impossible. How could Naruto master Sage Mode? Third generation saw some clues, but couldn't believe it. Sage Mode is the art of immortals. Naruto is only 12 years old, can he master Sage Mode? Third generation guessed it right. Naruto did use Sage Mode. Naruto knew very well that neither his combat experience nor his combat skills could compare with first generation or second generation. Even if they are of filthy soil. Naruto used Sage Mode early on, and his perception and physical fitness were enhanced dozens of times. Only in this way can we compete with first generation and second generation. As one of the people who knows Sage Mode best in the ninja world, Orochimaru also saw the clues. Sage transformation. Orochimaru stared at Naruto in surprise. Did this brat master Sage transformation? This is impossible. In order to verify his guess, Orochimaru immediately ordered first generation and second generation to activate ninjutsu. Second generation quickly formed the seal, water-style water wave. Crash. High-speed rotating water appeared out of thin air around the second generation's body. The water rose into the sky, forming a huge waterfall, and hit Naruto with a terrifying impact. Ninjutsu attack. That's awesome. Naruto didn't even bother to seal. He clapped his hands and shouted, Sage Art Water-style water wave. Crash. A huge amount of seawater appeared around Naruto. The seawater rotated at a terrifying speed, then spiraled into the air, forming a super large waterfall that was 10 times larger than the second generation, and crashed into it with an even more exaggerated and terrifying power. Seeing this scene, the spectators were all frightened. I actually activated such an exaggerated water-style ninjutsu. Is this really Naruto? Ma'am, isn't that too exaggerated? It feels more than 10 times bigger than the water waves in second generation. Incredible. Quote. Kakashi, Guy, Little Sakura, and Anbu all opened their eyes wide and opened their mouths in an O shape. It's not like they haven't seen water-style ninjutsu before, but Naruto's water-style ninjutsu is really exaggerated. It is indeed magic. The third Hokage smiled bitterly. This little guy actually mastered the magic of magic. This is a technique that not even me, not second Hokage, not even Orochimaru can master. Third generation knows Sage Art well. Senju Hashirama, the first Hokage of Konoha who put down the rebellion and founded Konoha, was very good at Sage Art. As people born in that era of the first generation, the third generation are the people who have truly seen Sage Art and know the power of Sage Art. In fact, third generation has also studied Sage Art before, and even his teacher, second Hokage, was obsessed with Sage Art. Unfortunately, none of them succeeded. Senjutsu is really not an ordinary ninjutsu, it's not something you can learn if you want to. The requirements for talent, opportunity, and chakra are extremely high. In the entire Konoha, only Jiraiya accidentally entered Mount Myoboku and received the guidance of an immortal, and was lucky enough to learn Sage Art. But it is only a semi-finished product, far from being comparable to Sage Mode, the purpose of first generation. Naruto actually knew it, and seemed to be able to use it with ease, which shocked the third generation. Naruto. Why Sage Mode? Who taught it? Jiraiya, Rumble. The two waterfalls collided violently, and the result is self-evident. Naruto's super-sized waterfall smashed the second generation's waterfall into pieces, and the first generation and second generation were also swept away. Even Orochimaru, who was hiding behind, was affected and drifted in the tsunami-like waterfall. For a moment, the three of them were extremely embarrassed. After a long time, the water flow subsided, and Orochimaru stood on the water, staring at Naruto with a pair of vertical pupils. Sage transformation indeed. Naruto, you have indeed mastered sage transformation. That's amazing. Orochimaru's eyes were a little fiery. I'm curious, where is your sage transformation? Sage transformation also makes a difference. For example, Jiraiya's sage transformation is a semi-finished product. And the curse seal transformation he developed is even a low-end version. Hyuga's sage mode has even greater shortcomings. Looking at Naruto's sage mode, it basically doesn't have any alienation characteristics, and there is no need to specifically collect natural energy. It seems that sage transformation is very high. Why should I tell you? Naruto was a little impatient. If you want to fight, fight. If you don't want to fight, get out. Where's all this nonsense? Then keep fighting. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue and licked his lips. I want to see how long your sage transformation can last. Kill. First generation launched an attack. He clapped his hands, and a large number of vines broke through the roof and came out, wrapping around Naruto like a python. This is so ridiculous. Naruto couldn't help but look happy and shouted, Sage Art Fire Style Sage Art Fire Extinguishing Technique. Naruto opened his mouth and spit out a large piece of flame, forming an overwhelming sea of fire and meeting the incoming vines. Rumble. The sea of fire instantly engulfed the vine jungle and filled the four purple flame formations in all directions. What a terrifying fire-style ninjutsu. Guy took a breath. The scope is too big. If this was put into war, wouldn't a large area be burned to death? Yes. Kakashi nodded solemnly. Little Sakura was already frightened. This exaggerated flame was more exaggerated than any fire-style ninjutsu she had ever seen in her life. Little Sakura couldn't understand why Naruto could use such pervert fire-style ninjutsu. This is unreasonable. This is not an ordinary ninjutsu, but a senjutsu. Third generation sighed. Immortal magic. Guy and little Sakura looked at third generation and asked, Hokage-sama, what is senjutsu? Immortal magic is the magic of immortals. Third generation sighed. Learning senjutsu, whether it's physical arts, ninjutsu, or illusions, can increase your power dozens of times. Dozens of times. The flames that filled the entire four purple flame formation gradually extinguished. The countless vines spawned by first generation have been burned cleanly, leaving ashes everywhere. Together with the first generation, second generation, and Orochimaru, they were also burned to ashes by the flames. However, they are not dead. The dust gathered, and the first generation and second generation healed quickly, and after a while, they were completely restored. Orochimaru emerged from the ground, and in the critical moment, he used the body replacement technique to dodge the attack. Your sage transformation is indeed perfect, much more perfect than that idiot Jiraiya. Orochimaru's voice was hoarse and his eyes were a little fiery. Naruto, I'm curious, you are only 12 years old, why can you master sage mode so perfectly? Hearing this, Kakashi, Guy, third generation and others outside the barrier couldn't help but pricked up their ears. Just figure it out for yourself. Naruto shrugged, as if he was talking about an insignificant thing. A month ago, I got the ninjutsu encyclopedia from the third generation old man and learned that there is such a thing as sage mode. I just studied it myself and didn't find it difficult at all. It just came naturally. After all, chakra mixes physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy in a ratio of 1:1:1 to balance the three. It's very simple. The encyclopedia of ninjutsu given by third generation did mention sage mode. But the space is not long, just a few dozen words. What is this Versailles speech? Naruto said it lightly, but third generation and Orochimaru were shocked and speechless. After some research on your own, it comes naturally. Not too difficult. Orochimaru's mouth twitched, and his hoarse voice was filled with mockery. Kid, do you think I will believe it? Sage mode is easy to say but very difficult to do. Yes, immortal magic chakra is a mixture of physical energy, mental energy, and natural energy at a ratio of 1:1:1. It sounds very simple. But natural energy is very dangerous. If you are not careful, you will be alienated or even petrified. How can it be as simple as Naruto said? Orochimaru suspected that Naruto was faking it, but he had no proof because Naruto's sage mode was indeed perfect. It's up to you, believe it or not. Naruto shrugged. Come on, come on. Keep fighting. Naruto quickly formed seals with his hands and took the initiative to attack. Sage Art Water Style Water Severing Wave. Sage Art Water Style Water Wave. Sage Art Water Style Who Will Build the Dam. Sage Art Fire Style Great Fireball. Sage Art Fire Style Fire Dragon Bullet. Quote. Naruto was like a humanoid machine, completely unaware of fatigue, and he was throwing all kinds of ninjutsu at Orochimaru for free. In Sage mode, each of Naruto's ninjutsu are dozens of times greater than regular ninjutsu. Orochimaru, first generation, and second generation were completely suppressed. Orochimaru repeatedly attacked in an attempt to turn the tide of the battle. But it can't be done. Naruto was too fast. Whether it is the speed of casting the spell, the speed of movement, or the nerve reactions, they are all unbelievably fast. Sneak attack. Even Naruto's clothing Kakuzu can't touch it. Second generation even activated the illusion darkness technique in an attempt to blind Naruto's vision. The result couldn't have any effect on Naruto. The first generation and the second generation were broken up again and restored to their original state again and again, and Orochimaru relied on the body replacement technique to save his life time and time again. If it weren't for Orochimaru's life-saving ability, someone like Jiraiya would have died long ago. Orochimaru, is this all you have? Naruto was a little annoyed. The dignified Konoha Sannin will only rely on the body replacement technique to survive. This fool is too stubborn. He only knows how to let first generation and second generation rush to the front and sneak attack halfway. However, the life-saving ability is pervert, regardless of whether it is hit by physical attacks or ninjutsu. Orochimaru can always survive using the Orochimaru body replacement technique, using an external body as a substitute again and a new body comes out of the old body's mouth. Not to mention disgusting, but still very human. Orochimaru, who usually loves to laugh, can't laugh now because he feels so depressed. Why are you using that level of ninjutsu? If I don't dodge, am I going to let you beat me to death with ninjutsu? Little brat, I'll let you pretend first. When your chakra is exhausted, I will come and take care of you. Naruto couldn't kill Orochimaru, and Orochimaru couldn't kill Naruto. He could only wait for Naruto chakra to run out. Orochimaru knows very well that Sage mode has a time limit and cannot last forever. When Naruto's chakra is exhausted, it's time for him to fight back. What, are you planning to wait until my chakra is exhausted before you deal with me? Naruto looked at Orochimaru with a smile. If that's what you think, you're wrong. Orochimaru is indeed disappointed. The two sides continued to fight for a long time. Orochimaru was panting from exhaustion, and Naruto was fine. Why are you still not running out of chakra after releasing so many large-scale ninjutsu? You want to know. Naruto smiled lightly. I won't tell you. You. Orochimaru was so angry. It's 9 tails, right? You must have borrowed 9 tails chakra. The Uzumaki clan has a lot of chakra, but Orochimaru never believed that it could be so abundant. In this case, there is only one reason, 9 tails. You still ask. Naruto said angrily. Uzumaki Naruto. Orochimaru looked at Naruto. I remember you, I hope you can give me a surprise next time we meet. Orochimaru knew that there was no point in continuing to fight, and the plan to collapse Konoha had completely failed. There is no point in staying here anymore. It is better to leave early and do something meaningful. Orochimaru, I also hope that next time we meet, you can have some new tricks, instead of always doing these tricks. Yes, Naruto. Orochimaru lifted Impure World Reincarnation, looked deeply at Naruto, and then slowly sank into the ground and disappeared. The 4 sound ninjas also disappeared with Orochimaru, not daring to stay for a moment longer. They were all frightened. Lord Orochimaru, who is like a god in their minds, teamed up with first Hokage and second Hokage, and was suppressed in the whole process. If Uzumaki Naruto were to deal with them, would they die desperately? Naruto ignored the 4 sound ninjas and watched them leave, just 4 trash fish. The dirt was lifted, and the first generation and second generation regained consciousness, with happy smiles on their faces. I'm very happy that a ninja like you can appear in Konoha. I hope you can continue to protect Konoha, young man. Your name is Uzumaki Naruto. I remember you. The first generation and the second generation looked at Naruto with smiles as their bodies slowly dissipated and their souls rose up. I hope we can fight again next time we meet. Naruto watched the two of them disappear. Naruto, Kakashi, Guy, and little Sakura rushed over. After the four sound ninjas left, the four purple flame formation was untied. Naruto, well done. Guy gave a thumbs up and smacked his big shiny white fang. Sure enough, the metal of youth is inseparable from blood. Naruto, when I see you, I feel like my youth is burning. Naruto, you saved the village. Kakashi looked at Naruto with joy and said, you are the hero of Konoha. Guy-sensei, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto smiled. Naruto, why don't you keep Orochimaru? Little Sakura complained. That Orochimaru covets Sasuke's body. If you let him go, aren't you letting him go? Can't stay. Kakashi shook his head. Orochimaru is a Sannin after all, and he has endless ways to save his life. Naruto can suppress him, but it's almost impossible to actually kill him. Kakashi is right. The third generation rushed over with the support of two Anbu, and looked at Naruto with relief and confusion. Naruto, you protected the village, thank you. I want to ask you, do you want to be a Hokage? As soon as these words came out, everyone in the audience was shocked. Everyone looked at third generation with disbelief. Let Naruto be the Hokage. Although the old Naruto always clamored to be a Hokage, no one took it to heart. It's just a joke. But no one expected that third generation actually planned to make Naruto a Hokage. It was simply unbelievable. Lord Hokage, you. Two Anbu hesitated to speak. I am already old. After today's battle, I have realized this deeply. Third generation sighed. He seemed older, and his energy seemed to have been drained away. As the Hokage of the village, he bears the important responsibility of protecting the village and everyone. This requires great strength. I obviously don't have such strength now. Third generation sighed. I have made up my mind to step aside and let go of the heavy burden of Hokage. Everyone was silent. Everyone can hear that Master Hokage was really hit this time, and these words should not be false. 2. As the shadow of the village, if he can't protect the village, what reason is there to continue to occupy that position? But having said that, Master Hokage is indeed old. After fighting Orochimaru and the others for a while, the chakra was basically exhausted. The third generation. Has lost the power of the ninja hero it once was. Naruto, you have learned Sage Mode, mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, and a variety of ninjutsu. In terms of combat power alone, no one in the village is stronger than you. The third generation looked at Naruto. I hope you can take over the responsibility and become the fifth Hokage. Everyone looked at Naruto, wanting to know his answer. Third generation old man, are you confused? Naruto spread his hands. I'm only 12 years old and you want me to be a Hokage? What a joke. Naruto wants to be a Hokage, but not now. He is currently in a period of rapid improvement in strength. How can he have free time to be a Hokage? At the very least, let's wait until he masters the Nine Tails chakra perfectly and turns on the Fairy Fox mode, right? Fairy Fox mode refers to Sage mode plus Nine Tails mode. In this state, Naruto can perfectly control the power of Nine Tails and control magic, and his combat power is second only to Six Paths level. This third generation frowned slightly. He had just been thinking about abdicating, and he thought Naruto was suitable, so he wanted to help Naruto take the position of Hokage. Now that I think about it, Naruto is indeed too young. At the age of 12, his character has not yet been settled. It's really not suitable to be a Hokage. Lord Hokage, I have a suggestion. Kakashi suddenly said. I met Master Jiraiya 2 days ago. I think Lord Jiraiya is very suitable to succeed the Hokage and become the fifth Hokage. Jiraiya. Third generation's eyes lit up and his face showed joy. Jiraiya is indeed a good candidate. How about this? Let him succeed Hokage first, and when Naruto comes of age, Jiraiya will pass the position of Hokage to Naruto. Lord Hokage is wise. Guy gives a thumbs up. As for now, A look of horror appeared on third generation's face. Use all your strength to capture the sound ninja and sand shinobi who attack the village, and let them know how powerful our Konoha shinobi are. Yes, Lord Hokage. The crowd dispersed immediately. Naruto and little Sakura came to the Chunin examination venue. Shiranui Genma is fighting with sand shinobi's Baki. Gaara and Sasuke have long since disappeared. Where's Sasuke? Little Sakura said anxiously. Sasuke had just been fighting Gaara and had been staying at the venue, but now he disappeared. Going after Gaara. Shiranui Genma stopped attacking. You should pursue them immediately to prevent him from falling into the enemy's trap. Naruto. Little Sakura looked at Naruto. Simple. Naruto grabbed little Sakura, followed the flying thunder god technique left on Sasuke, and disappeared. When the two reappeared, they were in the forest outside the village. The battle between Sasuke and Gaara is coming to an end. The battle between Sasuke and Gaara is basically coming to an end. Sasuke used the Heaven's Curse seal in his second state, transforming into a monster with hand-like wings. Gaara activates the false sleep technique, fully transforming into a tailed beast, and releases one tail Shukaku. Although Sasuke's combat power in the second state increased sharply, he was no match for Shukaku and was blasted by Shukaku. To make matters worse, the curse seal too quickly receded, and Sasuke returned to his human form, dying. Ah, quack quack. Go to hell, kid. Shukaku let out a wild and strange scream, and suddenly spit out a huge wind ball containing a large amount of chakra from his mouth. Wind-style practice blank ammunition. The blank bombs carry terrifying power towards Sasuke. They are not only fast and powerful, but also have a wide range. Sasuke can't escape even if he wants to. Are you going to die here? Sasuke looked unwilling. He hadn't killed the man yet, hadn't taken revenge yet, how could he die here? Sage Art Earth-style wall. Rumble. At this moment, the ground in front of Sasuke suddenly trembled, and an earth wall tens of meters high rose from the ground. The blank bullets hit the earth wall and were all blocked. This is... Sasuke's eyes widened. Sasuke. Little Sakura shouted. Sasuke turned around and saw little Sakura and Naruto appearing not far away. Little Sakura ran directly towards him. Sasuke breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the two of them. Although he didn't want to admit it, Sasuke always felt at ease with Naruto around. Sasuke, are you okay? Little Sakura helped Sasuke up. I'm fine. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Little Sakura, you stay and take care of him, I'll meet this fat cat. Naruto confessed and rushed towards Shukaku. Hey, fat cat, I'll fight you. Old man, help me teach this fat cat a lesson. Ninetales' voice rang in Naruto's mind, this kid needs discipline. We haven't seen him for several years, and he's getting arrogant again. Naruto was happy. Kurama, you are from the same roots and can be considered brothers. Why are you so impatient? Cut, Ninetales said angrily, this fat cat always dislikes me. I don't have such a brother. Ha ha ha, okay, then I'll teach it a lesson for you. Who will make our relationship deeper? When Ninetales heard this, he felt very happy. Even if they are as close as brothers, who doesn't want to be favored by his father? Kid, who are you? Shukaku glared at the fool and stared at Naruto indifferently. Stop talking nonsense and fight with me first. Naruto was too lazy to bother. He quickly formed seals with his hands, and the magic chakra in his body surged crazily. Sage Art Earth-style Yellow Spring Marsh. Wonkwon Marsh is already huge, but with the blessing of Sage Mode, it has reached an astonishing level. The ground a few hundred meters below Shukaku's feet instantly turned into a dark and deep swamp. Shukaku's huge and bloated body sank uncontrollably towards the depths of the swamp. You little devil! Shukaku was enraged and screamed twice. He opened his mouth and spat out a large amount of fine sand, which he fired at Naruto like a bullet. Wind-style sand shot. Sand shotguns contain terrifying penetrating power, and every grain of sand is like a bullet. Even if he is as strong as Uchiha Madara, he cannot withstand the penetration of sand and his body will be torn apart. Sage Art Water-style Water Barrier. A wall of water appeared around Naruto. This wall of water rotated around Naruto at high speed in a circle, forming a wall of water defense with no blind spots. The sand projectiles bombarded the water wall, and were all defeated and carried away by the high-speed rotating water wall. Big fat cat, try my trick. Naruto dispersed the water barrier and quickly formed seals with his hands. Sage Art Water-style water-severing wave. Naruto spat out a straight line of ultra-high-pressure water jets, cutting Shukaku's stomach as sharply as a blade. Stab. Shukaku was directly cut in half by the water column and cut into 2 pieces. Water-severing wave acts as a high-pressure water column, just like a water cutter, which can easily tear and chop the target. In Sage mode, the cutting power of water-severing wave increases dozens of times, and it can naturally cut Shukaku easily. However, this kind of damage is nothing to Shukaku, as its body is made of yellow sand. After being cut in half, Shukaku's 2 halves of the body quickly bonded together again, as if nothing happened. Shukaku was furious, screamed, practiced blank bullets, sand bullets and other ninjutsu to kill Naruto crazily. Naruto was not afraid at all. He had all kinds of counter ninjutsu at his fingertips, and he was able to fight Shukaku without any defeat. Is this Naruto now? Sasuke's eyes glazed over. He knew that Naruto was very strong. From the time of Wave Country, he realized that Naruto was not what he used to be. But Sasuke never expected that Naruto would be so strong that he could be on par with Shukaku. Sasuke had just fought Shukaku and knew how terrifying this monster was. The terrifying blank bullets and the shockingly penetrating sand projectiles, Sasuke couldn't catch any of them. After fighting for a long time, Sasuke couldn't even get close to Shukaku's body, let alone attack. Naruto, how strong are you? Sasuke clenched his fists tightly, his nails digging into his flesh and drawing blood. Also shocked was Temari, who was hiding in the dark. Temari has been following Gaara, secretly protecting him. But after Gaara released Shukaku, Temari escaped and lurked quietly in the darkness. Now seeing the battle between Naruto and Shukaku, Temari finally understood how big the gap between her and Naruto was. This guy is a monster. Temari looked at Naruto with mixed feelings. The battle between Naruto and Shukaku ended with Gaara's awakening. After the technique was over, Shukaku said a few harsh words and returned to Gaara's body. Kid, I remember you. Next time we meet, I will definitely not let you go. Next time we meet, you might stay in Ghetto Statue's belly and hang up until the 4th battle. Naruto groaned in his heart, and in a flash he was in front of Gaara. Hello, Calabash baby. After a series of fierce battles, Gaara was now exhausted and collapsed on the ground, unable to move. Calabash baby. Who is Calabash baby? Me. Gaara looked at Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, why did you save Uchiha Sasuke? He is my little brother, of course I want to save him. Naruto shrugged. But then again, your use of Shukaku is terrible. What do you mean? Gaara looked confused. Gaara, Shukaku is sealed in your body, you feel very unfortunate, right? Naruto asked. Is not it? Gaara's eyes burst with intense hatred. He thought about his extremely miserable childhood. He was looked upon with hostility, hatred and treated as a monster by everyone. He was assassinated time and time again by his father, and was even assassinated and betrayed by his uncle. And all of this was caused by Shukaku. Jinchuriki's childhood was indeed tragic, but the past is in the past, and people have to look forward. Naruto said, it is your misfortune that Shukaku is sealed in your body, but it can also be regarded as your wealth. Wealth, Gaara sneered, with a sarcastic smile on his lips, you actually regard Shukaku as wealth. It really hurts to stand and talk. You don't understand my pain at all. Naruto shrugged. I have such a big and arrogant fox sealed in my body. What don't I understand? Old man, who is so arrogant? Kurama shouted dissatisfied. Okay, don't be arrogant. Naruto didn't bother to argue with Nine Tails. Gaara's whole body was shocked, and there was a look of disbelief in his eyes. Are you too? Jinchuriki. That's right. Naruto smiled slightly. You too, Jinchuriki. Gaara's eyes showed recognition and kindness. As a Jinchuriki of Shukaku, he knew very well what happened to Jinchuriki, and he believed that even if Naruto was in Konoha, his situation would not be much better than that of him in Sand Shinobi. So, I understand your pain. Naruto said. But like I said, the past is in the past and no one can change it. But we can change the future and choose the lifestyle we like. Naruto looked at the blue sky. It would be too tiring to live in pain all day long. Gaara was silent for a long time. Uzumaki Naruto, can I really change my future? Why not? Naruto smiled lightly. As long as you can reach peace with the Shukaku in your body, become friends, and become the perfect Jinchuriki, it's not up to you to choose how you want to live in the future. What Naruto means is that as long as Gaara becomes the perfect Jinchuriki, he will be absolutely invincible in Sand Shinobi. At that time, whoever dares to make irresponsible remarks can just be killed. Why not just live how you want? But Gaara obviously misunderstood what Naruto meant. His understanding is that as long as he becomes the perfect Jinchuriki, he can control Shukaku and gain everyone's approval. Befriend Shukaku. Gaara felt a little ridiculous. Is this possible? Why not? Naruto said. Tailed beasts are actually just like humans, they also have their own emotions, joy, anger, sorrow and joy. If you treat Shukaku as a friend, he will also treat you as a friend. Tanuki is so easy to coax. Anyone who has ever raised a cat knows this. A cat looks cold and arrogant, but it's actually very clingy, just like a little fox. Old man, I feel like you're caring about me. Ninetales' voice rang in Naruto's mind again. You heard wrong, it's nothing. Naruto denied it outright. Gaara remained silent, seeming to be thinking about Naruto's words and comprehending the truth behind them. Uzumaki Naruto, have you become friends with Ninetales? Gaara suddenly asked. Roughly the same. Naruto nodded. A red chakra appeared on his hand. Because we have become friends, I can now call Ninetales chakra at will, and Ninetales will not have any objections. Now even if I release Ninetales, it won't hurt others, it's very well behaved. Cut. Ninetales snorted proudly. Gaara was very envious. Sand Shinobi's sealing technique was very imperfect, so he had to use part of his power to suppress Shukaku. Not to mention that his combat power was greatly damaged, he was still unable to sleep well. He had not been able to sleep well for so many years. This is where dark circles come from. Naruto actually has such a good relationship with Ninetales, which makes Gaara extremely envious. Uzumaki Naruto, thank you. After a long time, Gaara said this. You're welcome. Naruto waved his hand. I wish you and Shukaku can reach reconciliation as soon as possible and become true friends. Gaara hummed silently. Shua. Temari jumped down from the tree and found it incredible to see Gaara and Naruto having a friendly conversation. Gaara has always had a very violent temper, and she always looks cold as if she wants to kill your whole family. When have you ever been so gentle? What exactly did Uzumaki Naruto do? Temari couldn't help but look at Naruto, with confusion in her beautiful eyes. Naruto smiled at Temari and said, You two, let's go. Come back to Konoha with me. Temari said nothing and helped Gaara up. Sand Shinobi made a big fuss in Konoha today and completely violated the Allied Powers Treaty. This matter will definitely not be settled like this. Naruto took Temari and Gaara back to Konoha and handed them over to Kakashi Sessy. The rest was not Naruto's business to worry about. How Konoha's top management and Sand Shinobi's top management will compete and negotiate is a matter for the top management. Naruto couldn't care less and didn't bother to care. However, Naruto remembered that Sand Shinobi fully surrendered to Konoha after Konoha's collapse plan. Surrender means that the two have changed from apparently equal allies to a relationship of leader and subsidiary. Konoha, as the leader of the alliance, can issue orders to Sand Shinobi and require Sand Shinobi to cooperate. Of course, if Sand Shinobi changes, such as being attacked, they can also ask for help from Konoha. All in all, Konoha's collapse plan this time, the three parties who joined the group, Konoha and Oto Nin, did not suffer much. The worst was Sand Shinobi. Not only was the fourth Kazekage killed, but a large number of ninjas were also injured, which was simply terrible. I can finally have a good night's rest. After a hard day's work, Naruto was really tired. After a simple wash, he went to bed early. Hokage building. Both third generation and Jiraiya are there. 2 Hokage advisors are also there. Jiraiya, you should know that the purpose of looking for you is to let you succeed the Hokage. After the master and apprentice exchanged pleasantries, third Hokage got straight to the point. You don't have any objections, do you? Mitokado Homura and Udatane Kaharu also looked at Jiraiya. No, I have an opinion. Jiraiya spread his hands and said helplessly, Old man, you know best about my lazy temper. You asked me to peek. No, you asked me to draw materials. I'm very good at it, but I really can't do it to make Hokage. Jiraiya, I'm old. The third generation hates the indifference of steel. If it hadn't been for Naruto today, I would have died at the hands of Orochimaru. Even if you remember the relationship between master and disciple in the past, you should still be considerate of my old bones, right? Old man, I'm really not good at being a Hokage. Jiraiya was helpless. However, there is definitely someone who can do it. She is more suitable to be Hokage than me. You mean Tsunade? Third generation knows Jiraiya's thoughts. Yes, it's her. Jiraiya continued. Old man, you know Tsunade's ability and ambition better than I do. Coupled with her status, reputation, and your support, old man, it is perfect to succeed Hokage. I know Tsunade is suitable, but she has been away from the village for many years and has not been heard from for a long time. Where can I find her? The third generation sighed helplessly. In fact, the third generation also knew that Tsunade was more suitable to be a Hokage than Jiraiya. Tsunade's ability is very outstanding. Konoha's current medical system was built by Tsunade. Tsunade is the granddaughter of the first Hokage and has a very high prestige in the village. She is very suitable to be a Hokage. But where is Tsunade? Jiraiya patted her chest and promised, leave it to me to find Tsunade. I promise to bring her back. Good. Third generation agreed. As long as you can find Tsunade and convince her to become Hokage, I can let you go. But if, don't worry, old man, I'll take care of this. Jiraiya quickly promised. However, when I look for Tsunade, I want to take Naruto with me. Why? Third generation frowned slightly. Naruto was his designated sixth Hokage, and he didn't want Naruto to leave the village casually. Communicate, Jiraiya said. This kid actually mastered Sage Mode behind my back. I have to talk to him about it. Third generation thought for a while and agreed, okay. But remember to pay attention to safety, Naruto can't make any mistakes. Naruto slept very soundly that night. When I woke up, it was already the next day. Seeing Naruto waking up and sitting cross-legged in the living room, the three shadow clone dissipated on their own and returned to Naruto's body. After yesterday's battle, Naruto's chakra was basically exhausted. Before going to bed last night, Naruto specially made 3 shadow clone to condense the magic chakra. As the 3 shadow clone dissipated on their own, their condensed senjutsu chakra poured into Naruto's body. For a time, the magic chakra in Naruto's body was not only restored to its original state, but also had a surplus. You can do this more often in the future. Naruto muttered and started a new day of drawing. The first thing I do when I get up every day, draw a lottery. Although I haven't picked up anything good in the past month, I still have to do it. Ding! Winning the lottery. The lottery was successful. Congratulations on winning Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. I go. Naruto jumped out of bed. Mangekyo Sharingan. I'm going to draw Mangekyo Sharingan now. This is Mangekyo Sharingan. Mangekyo Sharingan is a higher level of Sharingan. The Uchiha family can only be turned on when the brain produces a special chakra after experiencing huge negative emotional stimulation, such as killing a loved one or witnessing the death of a loved one. This thing is very difficult to open eyes, even the entire Uchiha clan is very rare. Did you get Mangekyo now? Naruto was in disbelief. Boom. At this moment, an extremely cold chakra surged out of his brain and merged into his eyes. There was an incomparable pain in his eyes, and Naruto's 3 Tomo Sharingan turned on involuntarily. For a while, the 3 Tomo in Sharingan are quietly connected together to form a triangular blade shape. Naruto looked at his own eyes in the mirror, and it was indeed exactly the same as Itachi's Mangekyo. Itachi's Mangekyo comes with 2 eye techniques, Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. Mine should also have it, right? Naruto sensed carefully and found that his 2 eyes had 2 different abilities. None other than Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. These 2 abilities were as natural as Naruto's being born with them. Amaterasu. Naruto glared with his right eye. A drop of blood shed. Boom. A black flame appeared out of thin air on the ground, and soon burned a big hole in the wooden floor. Is this the unquenchable black flame of Amaterasu? Naruto clicked his tongue in surprise. Receive. The black flame disappears. Hiss. It hurts so much. Naruto covered his eyes and couldn't help but gasp. He felt a needle-like pain coming from his right eye. And this pain was centered on the right eye, radiated rapidly to all parts of the body, and quickly spread throughout the body. For a while, muscle pain, bone pain, joint pain, toothache, there is no part of the body that does not hurt. However, Naruto's endurance was amazing and he broke into a cold sweat from the pain. He had suffered a lot. No wonder Weasel is so sick and can only rely on medicine to stay alive. The side effects are so strong that even my iron-clad body can't handle it. Naruto grinned. Mangekyo Sharingan was powerful, but it was expendable. Every time it is used, it will bring a heavy burden and severe discomfort to the body. If used frequently, not only the body will be worn down, but the vision will continue to decline, and eventually blindness will occur. Itachi is the most typical example. Naruto tried Tsukuyomi again. Surprisingly easy to use. In the world of Tsukuyomi, all factors, including time, location, and quality, are controlled by Naruto. It can be said that in the world of Tsukuyomi, Naruto is a god, an omnipotent god. It's easy to use, but it's too taxing on the eyes and puts a huge burden on the body. Finally, Naruto tried Mangekyo Sharingan's third ultimate ability, Susanoo. Naruto's Susanoo, like Itachi's Susanoo, is a fiery orange-red color. Holding the Yata mirror in the left hand and the Jukin sword in the right hand, it possesses both absolute defense and powerful attack power. Both offensive and defensive. But the cost of turning on Susanoo is very high. Not only does it consume a lot of chakra, but the side effects are also huge. I felt severe pain all over my body, especially my eyes, which felt like being pricked by countless needles. Naruto was forced to stop after reaching his first form. Can't bear it. I can't bear it at all. I finally understand why Itachi and Erzu looked like they were constipated after turning on Susanoo. Naruto collapsed on the ground, breathing heavily. This kind of crime is really not something that ordinary people can bear. Compared to this, Sage Mode is still more comfortable. As someone who has mastered both abilities, Naruto feels he has a voice. In Sage Mode, perception, physical fitness, increase in all aspects. With this kind of increase, not only will you not feel any discomfort, but you will feel extremely comfortable. Susanoo goes to the other extreme. Although it is powerful, the side effects are also huge. My eyes hurt, my whole body hurt, nowhere was good. Compared between the two, Sage Mode is more comfortable. Naruto sighed. Before you get Eternal Mangekyo, it's better to use less Mangekyo. It's so painful. Naruto rested for a while. His body finally fully recovered, and the discomfort completely disappeared. Boom. Naruto created a shadow clone. Go buy breakfast. Okay, body. After a simple wash, Shadow Clone had already bought breakfast. Naruto was reading through the Encyclopedia of Ninjutsu while eating breakfast. His strength has reached this stage, almost reaching the peak of cage level. It is very difficult to go further. Or, draw the Eternal Mangekyo. Or, become the perfect Jinchuriki. The former is random and has too much uncertainty. You may draw the Eternal Mangekyo tomorrow, but you may not be able to draw it in 10 or 8 years. The latter is also troublesome. Due to his age, Naruto is not physically strong enough to carry the power of 9 tails. This requires exercise. It takes more time. Naruto estimated that it would take at least 2 or 3 years. During this period, it would be difficult for Naruto to improve his strength unless he drew something good. Before this, Naruto could only learn new ninjutsu while practicing the 8 inner gates to strengthen his physique. Master as many ninjutsu as possible. Wind style wind blade is good. A-level offensive ninjutsu. With the increase of Sage Mode, the power should be terrifying. Let's practice it today. Bang bang bang. Naruto created 300 Shadow Clone. Learn wind style wind blade today. Naruto handed over the ninjutsu encyclopedia, and the Shadow Clone took it and activated Flying Thunder God to disappear. Multiple Shadow Clone is simply a cheating device in your hands. Jiraiya's voice sounded. Naruto turned around and saw Jiraiya sitting on the windowsill, looking at him with a smile. Pervy Sage, are you here? Naruto smiled and greeted. How many times have I told you not to call me Pervy Sage? Jiraiya's head was full of black lines. Okay, Pervy Sage. Naruto waved his hand. What do you want from me? You won't ask me to soak in a hot spring so early in the morning, right? The two hung out together for a month before the Chunin exam, eating and drinking Naruto's food every day. This old gangster was completely dependent on Naruto. You can have hot springs, but you have to do so on the road. Jiraiya jumped out of the window. I was ordered by the old man to go on a mission, and I want to take you with me. What's the mission? Tell me. Naruto said, looking for Princess Tsunade, one of the Sannin, and asking her to return to the village and succeed the Hokage. After playing with Naruto for a month, Jiraiya knew that Naruto's mind was very mature and there was no need to hide it. Look for her. Naruto pondered for a moment and agreed, okay. I just happened to go out for a walk. I haven't been out since I came back from the country of waves. Hurry up and pack up, I'll wait for you. Chapter 51. Chapter 51 Itachi and Kisame. After Naruto simply cleaned up, he and Jiraiya went out. The two chatted all the way, and the atmosphere was relaxed and cheerful. Naruto, I heard that you have mastered Sage Mode. Come on, show me how to use it. Incredible, your level of Sage transformation is actually so high. There is almost no facial makeup that represents Sage Mode. Naruto, how on earth did you do that? Just try it and it will work. Okay, your talent is really great. By the way, how long can your Sage Mode last? Is there a time limit for Sage Mode? There's none. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have it. If I have to give it a time, I can last until my physical strength is exhausted. Monster. After chatting all the way, Jiraiya was hit hard. He clearly felt the differences in the world. I remember when he accidentally entered Mount Myoboku and spent a lot of effort to barely master Sage Mode. Still incomplete. After practicing for so many years, his Sage Mode can barely last for about 5 minutes. Naruto is better. Forget it, don't talk about this. Jiraiya was bored and changed the subject. By the way Naruto, an organization has been targeting you recently. You should be more careful. Are you talking about Shao? Naruto said calmly. Jiraiya was stunned. Do you know Shao? Not only do I know Shao. Naruto shrugged. I also know that this organization is composed entirely of S-class rebellious ninjas, and their purpose is to collect tailed beasts. You actually know so clearly. Jiraiya has some doubts about life. He tried his best and managed to find some clues. Did Naruto know so clearly? Naruto, why do you know so much about Akatsuki? This is unreasonable. It's not scientific either. Naruto smiled. It's a secret. Jiraiya said angrily. You even hid it from me, you kid is really not cute at all. Forget it. If you don't want to say it, don't say it. Let's continue talking about the Akatsuki organization. How much do you know about them? Naruto shrugged and continued. The Akatsuki organization currently has 11 members, and the leader is Pain. Naruto briefly told the information about the members of the Akatsuki organization, but omitted the identities of Nagato and Konan. The reason why he said this was just to tell Jiraiya as much information as possible and save his life. If Jiraiya is told that the leader of the Akatsuki is a former disciple, this guy's brain will twitch and he might actually go to Rain Shinobi Village. So, it's better not to say anything. Furthermore, the identities of Nagato and Konan are not important, their abilities are the key. Pervy Sage, I have basically mastered the information about Akatsuki. There is no need for you to continue investigating. Naruto said. I advise you not to go to Rain Shinobi Village to investigate privately, let alone take the risk of sneaking in. It's very dangerous there. With your current strength, if you head to Rain Shinobi Village rashly, you'll just die. Jiraiya frowned. You have so little confidence in me. I, Jiraiya, am also Toad Sage after all. Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki organization, has 6 clones, called Pain 6 Paths, which are actually 6 puppets. They are the Heavenly Path, the Animal Path, Hungry Kido, the Human Path, the Hell Path, and the Shira Path. The power of heaven is. Naruto told Jiraiya all the abilities and methods of Pain's 6 paths. Jiraiya broke into a cold sweat after hearing this. Jiraiya is very confident in his own strength. Not to mention being invincible in the ninja world, he is at least undefeated. But after listening to Naruto's introduction, Jiraiya realized that he was indeed no match for Pain. Especially if you don't understand the opponent's capabilities, it's easy to be caught off guard and capsize in the gutter. Pen 6 Paths is actually so strong. Jiraiya was a little bitter. If he really takes action, who else in the ninja world can deal with him? So, don't alert the enemy. Naruto warned. The Akatsuki organization is secretly collecting tailed beasts, and we must also secretly increase our strength. Once I fully control Kurama's chakra, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with pain. Naruto has already said what needs to be said. If Jiraiya still takes the risk and sneaks into Rain Shinobi Village, Naruto won't be able to save him. In terms of hard power alone, Jiraiya is really not as good as Pain. Even if he knew Pain's information, he still wouldn't be able to defeat him. The gap in hard power is there, and it cannot be bridged by knowing some intelligence. The best thing to do is not to risk yourself by sneaking into Rain Shinobi Village. And you, pervy sage, practice sage mode more often when you have nothing to do, and stop going to the bathhouse to peek at beauties bathing. I have a hunch that in the next 5 years, the ninja world will undergo earth-shaking changes. When the time comes, the stronger you are, the more likely you are to survive. Your current strength is still too weak. Real or fake, the Akatsuki organization is collecting tailed beasts and planning to make tailed beast weapons. Are you telling the truth? What Jiraiya didn't know was that someone was targeting them. Wearing a black coat embroidered with red cloud patterns, and a hat with wind chimes tied on his head. None other than Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. That brat is Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Kisame stared at Naruto with green eyes and smiled, I'll catch this brat right now. Do not impulse. Itachi looked indifferent. The one next to him is one of the famous Konoha Sannin, you are no match for him. Chapter 52 I advise you not to use Mangekyo on me. As dusk approached, flaming clouds appeared in the sky. Naruto and Jiraiya came to Yufuku Street, a bustling town near Konoha village. The two of them first booked a hotel, then had something to eat, and finally took a nice dip in a hot spring. Afterwards, Jiraiya went to drink alone, and Naruto returned to the hotel to rest alone. He originally planned to go with Jiraiya, but suddenly more than 100 memories appeared in his mind. This is the memory returned by the shadow clone sent out by Naruto to practice wind-style wind blade this morning. After a day of practice, the shadow clone not only fully mastered the wind blade, but also reached the master level. A lot of memories flooded into his mind, and even though Naruto was physically strong, he was still dizzy from the impact. As a last resort, I had to go back to the hotel to rest. After hurriedly leaving 3 shadow clone responsible for condensing the magic chakra, Naruto fell into a deep sleep. He was half asleep when a knock on the door suddenly rang, and Naruto was woken up. Go and open the door. A shadow clone stood up and opened the door. 2 men in black coats stood outside the door. It's you, shadow clone whispered. Uzumaki Naruto, nice to meet you. Itachi stared at the shadow clone impassively. There are long nasolabial folds on his handsome face, and his whole person is as cold as an ice sculpture. Original body, get up quickly. Shadow clone said loudly. I know. Naruto shook his dizzy head and looked at the 2 people outside the door. His eyes couldn't help but fall on one of them. Uchiha Itachi, the genius ninja of the Uchiha clan, in order to protect the village from war, killed the entire clan, leaving only his young brother. In the end, he died in the battle with Sasuke, and he was willing to give his Mangekyo Sharingan to fulfill his brother Sasuke's wish. Naruto has nothing to say about Uchiha Itachi. He and Uchiha Itachi are not the same person. In other words, the 3 views are completely different. Uchiha Itachi can kill his parents and destroy his entire clan for the sake of justice, and he is willing to sacrifice everything for justice. Naruto thought he couldn't do it. He would rather be a selfish person like Uchiha Madara, Orochimaru than Uchiha Itachi. I didn't expect Konoha to seal 9 tails in the body of a kid. What a surprise. Kisame has long dark blue hair, a face and skin color similar to that of a shark, and sharp teeth. By the way, she also has a pair of green bean eyes, which looks very funny. Hoshigaki Kisame, Uchiha Itachi. Naruto lifted the quilt and got out of bed, pointed to the sofa in the room and said, sit down. You know us. Hoshigaki Kisame was a little surprised. Uchiha Itachi stared at Naruto indifferently. I just talked about you with Jiraiya this afternoon, I didn't expect to see you tonight. Naruto smiled lightly, picked up 2 cups, and poured a glass of water for each person. Sit down and have a cup of tea. No, Uchiha Itachi said. Our mission is to take you back. Uzumaki Naruto, come with us. Kid, I advise you to cooperate. Kisame threatened with a smile. Otherwise, I won't mind breaking your legs. Kisame, although you were a bit arrogant and bellicose, your character is still okay. Naruto looked at Kisame. Whatever Akatsuki gives you a month's salary, I will pay you double. Follow me from now on. Kid, you are looking for death. Kisame was a little irritated, but still had a smile on his face. Itachi, as long as Jinchuriki doesn't kill him, that's fine, right? Well, now I have to teach this kid a lesson. Want to teach me a lesson? I'll satisfy you. Naruto looked around. But this place is obviously not suitable. I will take you to a suitable place. Shua. Naruto flashed and was behind Kisame and Itachi. He pressed their shoulders and activated Flying Thunder God. When the 3 of them reappeared, they had arrived in a wilderness area, overgrown with weeds and deserted. Where is this? Illusion. Kisame looked around in shock. One moment they were in the hotel, and the next moment they were in this empty wilderness area. Apart from illusion, Kisame can't think of any other reason. Itachi also looked around. This is a place more than 10 kilometers away from Yufu Street. There is no one within a few kilometers around. Naruto smiled and explained, it's a good battlefield. Here, we can do whatever we want. Flying Thunder God technique. This jutsu popped into Kisame's and Itachi's minds at the same time. Itachi looked deeply at Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, have you learned the 4th Hokage's Flying Thunder God technique? That's right. Naruto shrugged. So, if you want to catch me, you are destined to be disappointed. This brat. Kisame was in disbelief. How old are you to have mastered the 4th Hokage's Flying Thunder God technique? Kisame participated in the 3rd Ninja World War and was well aware of Konoha's reputation for golden glitter. And the 4th Hokage's signature skill, Flying Thunder God technique, is naturally well known. Kisame never expected that the brat in front of him could even master this kind of time and space ninjutsu. Mr. Itachi, we seem to be in trouble. Kisame stared at Naruto. 9 Tails Jinchuriki can use Flying Thunder God, how can we catch him? Itachi secretly rejoiced, but his face remained indifferent. The Flying Thunder God is powerful, but he is not invincible. Itachi said as he was about to activate the Mangekyo Sharingan and pretend to give Naruto a genjutsu. I advise you not to use Mangekyo on me. Naruto looked at Itachi and said, this thing is not easy to use at all. If you use it again, I'm afraid you will go blind. Chapter 53. He is using magic to fight you. I'm afraid you're blind. Itachi's eyes narrowed, staring deeply at Naruto with a deep and cold gaze. Do you know Mangekyo? No, a little bit. Naruto shrugged. Not only do I know Mangekyo, I also have Mangekyo, a Mangekyo exactly like you. Kisame looked at Itachi and then at Naruto. Kid, how do you know this? Shark boy, you want to know? Naruto raised his eyebrows slightly. If you want to know, just fight with me. If you win, I'll tell you. Kid, you are so rude. Kisame grinned, with an extremely dangerous aura in his smile. But, it's just what I want. Kisame grabbed the sword Samahata and slashed at Naruto hard. Flying Thunder God technique. In a flash, Naruto was behind Kisame, squatted down, formed the tiger seal with his hands, and stabbed Kisame's anus. Konoha Shinobi Esoteric Taijutsu Secret 1000 Years of Death. Puff. Ah. The chrysanthemum was severely injured, and Kisame let out a shrill scream, jumped more than 10 meters high, and ran out instantly. Ha ha ha. Naruto held his belly and laughed. Underscore. Itachi's head is covered with black lines. Kid, I want you to die. Kisame covered his anus, his shark face became distorted, and his mungbean eyes could spit out fire. Kisame grabbed Samahata and pounced on Naruto again. As a result, Naruto dodged, got behind Kisame again, and kicked Kisame in the butt. Kisame flew out again. Kid. Kisame screamed in anger, swung Samahata, and chased Naruto, slashing and slashing. But to no avail. Naruto knows the Flying Thunder God technique and is so elusive that Kisame can't even touch Naruto's clothes Kakuzu. Flying Thunder God technique. Kisame is a true ninja and does not get carried away by anger, he calms down quickly. Kid, how amazing is it that you know the Flying Thunder God technique? I'll let you know how awesome I am. Kisame quickly formed seals with his hands and shouted loudly, water-style water wave. Crash! Huge chakra swept out of Kisame's body. A huge amount of seawater suddenly appeared around Kisame's body. The water swirled around Kisame at high speed and rose into the sky, turning into a thick waterfall and crashing into Naruto. By ninjutsu. Accompany you. Naruto quietly used Sage Mode, eye shadow appeared on his eyes, and his eyes turned into horizontal lines. Sage Art Water-style water wave. Rumble. Water several times larger than Kisame's appeared around Naruto, spinning at high speed and rushing towards Kisame and Uchiha Itachi. What a huge water wave. Kisame was shocked. Can a kid really release a water wave of this size? Kisame considers himself to be as good as anyone in water-style ninjutsu. Coupled with the fact that his body is so huge that it rivals the terrifying amount of chakra of a tailed beast, this makes Kisame's water-style ninjutsu often much larger in scale than ordinary water-style ninjutsu. But compared with Naruto's water-severing wave, Kisame found that his own water-severing wave was not good enough. Rumble. Two water waves collided together. Naruto's super large water blast easily overwhelmed Kisame's water blast and continued to sweep towards Kisame and Itachi. Not good. The two people jumped up quickly and jumped high into the air, thus avoiding the impact of the water waves. The surrounding plants were so unlucky that they were uprooted and drifted with the tide. When the water waves swept over, Kisame and Itachi fell from the sky and landed steadily on the water. Kid, I really look down on you. Kisame stopped smiling and looked at Naruto in confusion. Your water wave is very powerful. As a water-style master, Kisame knows very well that in order to perform ninjutsu of this level, an extremely large chakra is required. The chakra in his body was extremely huge, comparable to that of a tailed beast, but as a result, the water blast he unleashed was not as good as Naruto's. How much chakra does this kid have? I've always wanted to find a water-style master to have a good discussion with, and I finally got the chance today. Naruto laughed twice. Kisame, come again. Sage Art Water-style Water Dragon Bomb. Naruto took the initiative to attack. A ferocious and thick water dragon suddenly rose from the water below and crashed into Kisame and the two of them. Such a big water dragon bomb. Kisame's eyelids twitched when he saw it, and the hand seal movement on his hand was not slow, water-style explosive water wave. Kisame jumped into the air, spitting out a huge amount of seawater enough to form a lake on the ground, and faced the water dragon bomb. Rumble. Come again. Sage Art Water-style Water Horn Technique. Water-style Water Barrier. Sage Art Water-style Water Severing Wave. Water-style Who will build the dam? Quote. Naruto and Kisame were going back and forth, using all kinds of super large-scale water-style ninjutsu, and throwing them at each other as if they were free. Under their crazy bombing, a large crater appeared within a radius of 1 or 2 kilometers. A large amount of water waves gathered in the pit, forming a lake, and even the terrain changed. Kid, your water-style ninjutsu is really powerful. Kisame looked at Naruto with horror in his mung bean eyes. You are a Konoha shinobi, but you can use our mist shinobi's water-style ninjutsu so superbly, I admire you. There's another thing I still can't figure out. How much chakra do you have? Kisame was confused. It's not a matter of having too much chakra, it's a matter of magic. Itachi, who had been quietly watching the battle without taking any action, suddenly said, he is using magic to fight you. Immortal magic. Kisame was stunned. What is magic? Immortal magic is the magic of immortals. Chapter 54. Are you going to become a shark? Immortal magic is the magic of immortals. Itachi stared straight at Naruto, with a strange look in his deep eyes. It is said that with the use of senjutsu, the power of physical arts, ninjutsu, or illusions will be increased dozens of times. I originally thought this statement was a rumor and an exaggeration, but now it seems to be true. The power increases dozens of times. Kisame gasped. No wonder this kid's ninjutsu is so terrifying, it turns out to be senjutsu. Kisame couldn't help but sigh. Konoha is indeed rich in geniuses, no matter which generation is short of geniuses. Sannin, White Fang, Golden Flash, Kakashi now, Itachi you, and this brat. Especially this brat. I feel that he is more pervert than all the geniuses in Konoha before. He is simply a monster. He must be only a teenager, right? He has already mastered the Flying Thunder God and the magic of magic. Will he be able to master it again in the future? Itachi ignored Kisame, looked at Naruto and said, I heard someone said that Orochimaru attacked Konoha yesterday, and someone fought off Orochimaru and saved the third Hokage. I thought it was Jiraiya, but now that I think about it, you should be the one who saves the third generation, right? It's me. Naruto admitted it openly. Konoha is so lucky to be able to give birth to a genius like you. Uzumaki Naruto, I wish you good luck. Itachi looked deeply at Naruto, turned to Kisame and said, let's go. Let's get out of here. Itachi, won't you catch him? Kisame wondered, can you catch it? Itachi asked back, it seems so. Kisame choked. This kid has learned magic and the Flying Thunder God technique. It's really hard to catch him. Kisame looked at Naruto again and said with a smile, Uzumaki Naruto, right? I remember you. I really enjoyed my fight with you this time. I hope I can have a good fight with you next time we meet. Leaving now. Naruto quit. You want to leave before you've had enough. Now that you're here, just stay. Without waiting for Kisame to respond, Naruto attacked again. There was no seal this time, and a super large fireball with a diameter of more than 50 meters was ejected, slamming into Kisame. Sage Art Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. You brat. Kisame snorted. Water Style Water Barrier. Flying Thunder God Technique. Naruto disappeared instantly, and when he reappeared, he was already behind Kisame. Sage Art Fire Style Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. Naruto still had no seal. He opened his mouth and spit out a stream of flames, forming an overwhelming sea of fire that rumbled towards Kisame. The interval between the two fire-style ninjutsu was less than 1 second, which was faster than Kisame expected. Doesn't this brat release ninjutsu without forming seals? Kisame was dealing with the oversized great fireball in front of him, so how could he have time to deal with the fire dragon fireball behind him? He could only watch the sea of fire drowning him, with a look of despair in his eyes. This brat, even if he knows Flying Thunder God, doesn't he need to form a seal to release ninjutsu? Kisame was furious. In front of you is the oversized great fireball, and behind you is the overwhelming sea of fire. There is no place to escape even if you want to escape. If he was hit by such a large-scale fire-style ninjutsu, even if he was a tailless beast, he would be burned to death. Boom! The overwhelming sea of fire instantly engulfed Kisame. Then it hit the lake at its feet, evaporating a large amount of lake water and forming a terrifying white mist. After a while, the flames dissipated, and a huge orange-red skeleton appeared in the center shrouded in white mist. The skeleton is wrapped in a coat-like chakra, holding the Yata mirror in its left hand and the 10-fist sword in its right hand. It is Susanoo's second form. Kisame and Itachi stayed in Susanoo. Itachi's eyes were bleeding and he was breathing heavily. Kisame looked like he had narrowly escaped death and was still frightened. It's saved. Not yet. Itachi gasped and endured great pain. Kisame, we have provoked a very difficult enemy. It seems to be very difficult. Kisame looked at Naruto who was approaching step by step. He knows Senjutsu and the Flying Thunder God technique. He doesn't need to form seals to release ninjutsu. How should we deal with such a monster? Susanoo's defense is very strong, it can be called an absolute defense. But as a good partner, Kisame knew Itachi's physical condition and it was impossible to turn on Susanoo for a long time. Once Weasel can't bear it anymore, they will die. Mr. Itachi, what should we do now? Kisame smiled bitterly. Are we going to die at the hands of a kid today? I'm really unwilling. When they came out to look for Nine Tails Jinchuriki today, they thought it would be an easy task. Who would have thought that the result would be like this? Itachi said nothing, struggling to hold on to Susanoo. Forget it, let's not fight. Naruto suddenly yawned. You're lucky today, I'll let you go and get out. Kisame was stunned. Kid, what do you mean? Where does all this nonsense come from? Are you leaving? Naruto snorted. Don't leave if you don't want to. Uzumaki Naruto, I remember you. Itachi took a deep look at Naruto and suddenly raised the corners of his mouth, revealing a relieved smile. Then removed Susanoo, closed Mangekyo, and said, Kisame, let's go. Good. Kisame glanced at Naruto and saw that Naruto didn't attack. He even helped Itachi and walked away. Chapter 55 Onoki Earth Style Ninjutsu Gift Pack. Naruto slept soundly that night. When I woke up, it was already broad daylight. Jiraiya came back at some point, still sound asleep and smelling of alcohol. Lottery, Naruto said silently. Ding, winning the lottery. The lottery was successful. Congratulations on winning the Onoki Earth-style ninjutsu gift pack. Huh, Naruto immediately became energetic. You actually got Onoki's Earth-style ninjutsu. Let's see. Onoki, the direct disciple of Iwagakure's third Tsuchikage, first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage. Onoki is very powerful and enjoys the title of Onoki of Two Scales. Grandmaster Earth-style ninjutsu. He can use the blood successor elimination, dust release that exceeds the blood inheritance limit. Naruto opened the Onoki Earth-style ninjutsu gift pack, and found that a total of 9 Earth-style ninjutsu were listed. They are Earth-style rock boxing technique, Earth-style weighted rock technique, Earth-style super weighted rock technique, Earth-style light heavy rock technique, Earth-style super light heavy rock technique, Earth-style earthquake core, Earth-style gangly style technique, Earth-style Iwa clone, Earth-style Iwa arm. There is no dust escape. Naruto was a little disappointed, then smiled dumbly, feeling that he was too greedy. Dust escape is the elimination of blood inheritance that transcends the limits of blood inheritance. It is formed by the fusion of the 3 nature transformations of wind, earth and fire. The power is very terrifying. In the original work, Onoki once used dust escape and original realm stripping technique to destroy the Hokage Dance King, Madara's 25 wood-style clones, Susanoo, with one blow. You know, Onoki at that time was already 79 years old, which shows how powerful he was. In terms of damage, level, dust release can be regarded as the first ninjutsu below 6 paths level. The output capability is so strong that it's pervert. This kind of pervert ninjutsu can be easily obtained. 9 Earth-style ninjutsu are not bad either. Especially the super light heavy rock technique. Onoki can fly. It seems to be because of this ninjutsu, right? The super light heavy rock technique is an enhanced version of the light heavy rock technique, which can significantly reduce the weight of materials. It can also reduce its own weight, thereby increasing its own speed, and can fly freely in the air. To put it bluntly, this technique can achieve the purpose of reducing gravity by reducing one's own weight. When the gravity is reduced to 0, it will fly naturally. Try it. Naruto closed his eyes and felt it for a while, then easily mastered the super light heavy rock technique. Earth-style ultra light heavy rock technique. All of a sudden, Naruto felt all the weight in his body disappear without a trace at this moment, as if his shackles had been removed. My body is so light that I can't feel the Earth's gravity at all, as if gravity has disappeared. With a thought in Naruto's mind, his body left the bed and floated up, slowly floating in the air. Awesome, Naruto almost cheered. It feels great to fly, and the feeling of soaring freely in the sky is addictive. In the Hokage world, generally only when you reach the 6 paths level can you achieve true flying. I'm still far from the 6 paths level. I can already fly. This skill is amazing. Since Naruto had just mastered the ability to fly, he was still not very proficient in using it and could not fly as freely as Onoki. It doesn't matter. Just practice more and it will come naturally. Naruto immediately made 100 shadow clones and asked them to find a place to practice their flying abilities. Then he made another 100 shadow clone to practice the 9 Earth-style ninjutsu he had just acquired. Like the ninjutsu drawn before, the proficiency of these 9 Earth-style ninjutsu is also at the perfect level. They can be used without seals, but their application in actual combat is still lacking and requires more practice. Finally, Naruto made another 100 shadow clone and continued to practice the wind-style wind blade that he had not finished yesterday. After the shadow clone received the order, they left one after another. Naruto lay on the bed and fell asleep again. I slept until almost noon, then washed up and went out at Jiraiya's urging. The two left Yufu Street and searched along the surrounding towns. Near evening, they came to Danshu Street. Pervy Sage, find a place to eat. Naruto touched his stomach. I'm hungry. Jiraiya promised with all his heart, but ended up taking Naruto into an izakaya and started drinking again. What the hell are you drinking again? What do I eat when you drink? Naruto was dissatisfied. Jiraiya seemed to see Naruto's dissatisfaction, and said with a smile, you eat the food and wine. Cut. Naruto raised his middle finger to Jiraiya and stood up to go out and find something serious to eat. But he saw two women walking in. The woman in front has long light yellow hair, a blue-purple mark on her forehead, bright brown eyes, and light red lips. The most exaggerated thing is that she has a huge bust and a plump and slim figure, like a ripe peach, exuding the charm of a mature woman. Isn't this Tsunade? Naruto pushed Jiraiya and said with a lewd smile, "Pervy sage, there is a beauty." Beauty? Where is she? Jiraiya immediately perked up and looked in the direction Naruto was pointing, then froze. Tsunade. Jiraiya jumped up, stopped in front of Tsunade, and shouted excitedly, "Tsunade, long time no see." Jiraiya. Tsunade was also a little surprised. Chapter 56 Naruto, how could you taint my innocence out of thin air? It is naturally joyful to meet old friends. Jiraiya, who is usually very timid, was generous for once and ordered a table of wine and food to entertain Tsunade and Shizune. Shizune is also very beautiful, a pure and conservative gentle girl, holding the pig named Dodo in her arms. Jiraiya and Tsunade were talking about old times and reminiscing about the past, and it was obvious that they were in a good mood. Naruto worked in silence. Today's consecutive battles took a lot of wear on him, so he had to make up for it quickly. Tsunade, you must have heard about Orochimaru and Sand Shinobi attacking Konoha, right? After chatting for a long time, Jiraiya finally got down to business. Heard. Tsunade held a deck of cards, dealt the cards skillfully, and said calmly. As the strongest ninja village in the ninja world, Konoha has always been the focus of attention from all parties. Such a big thing happened this time. It has been widely spread and everyone knows it. At this point, Tsunade asked seemingly casually, "Is the old man okay?" "Not too good." Jiraiya shook his head. "This incident has hit the old man hard, and he has completely decided to quit. I came to you this time on the old man's order to ask you to go back and be a Hokage." Tsunade was stunned for a moment, then returned to normal and continued to deal the cards skillfully. Shizune was shocked, with a look of disbelief. "Jiraiya-sama, are you serious?" Jiraiya picked up the card and said calmly, "Tsunade, you are the granddaughter of the first generation and one of the Sannin. Regardless of prestige, identity, position, and ability, he is currently the most suitable person to inherit the position of Hokage. So, I hope you will come back with me, take over the old man's place, and become the fifth generation." Cut. Tsunade held his cheek with his right hand, looked at the cards with his left hand, and sneered in a confused and disdainful tone. "Hokage. Only idiots and idiots do Hokage. Go back and tell the old man to find someone else." Tsunade. Jiraiya still wants to persuade. "Okay Jiraiya, stop talking about this." Tsunade snorted coldly and said displeased "Ly, if you say that again, I will get up and leave immediately." Jiraiya understood Tsunade's character and knew that she meant what she said, so she shook her head helplessly and did not persuade her. "Tsunade-sama." Shizune wanted to give some advice, but Tsunade glared back and shut up obediently. This big cow has such a hot temper. And Jiraiya was indeed eaten to death. Naruto was a little funny and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Tsunade rolled his eyes, snorted coldly, and said, "Kid, why are you laughing?" Naruto was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "I'm laughing at pervy sage. I didn't expect that he, an old gangster, would also have a bad time." He really complied with the saying, "Everything comes down." Jiraiya was unhappy and said angrily, "Naruto, what are you talking about?" Jiraiya, listen, even children say you are an old gangster. So what do you usually do? Tsunade glared at Jiraiya in disgust, looked at Naruto and asked, "Kid, are you Jiraiya's disciple?" "So be it." Naruto shook his head. "After all, this old gangster often taught me to peek at women bathing, and drinking." Naruto was taking revenge sincerely. Jiraiya doesn't spend money on food, drinks, or accommodation. He pays everything by himself. Forget it. The key is that I wanted to have a good dinner, but I was taken to this place to eat wine and food. There is no one left. Naruto, what are you talking about? Who taught you to peek at a woman taking a shower? How could you smear my innocence out of thin air? The corner of Jiraiya's mouth twitched, and he had the idea of strangling Naruto to death. This was completely revealing his background. He doesn't care about his image in front of others, but not in front of Tsunade. This is the woman he loves deeply. Suddenly, Jiraiya felt an overwhelming killing intent and saw Tsunade's eyes spitting fire, glaring at him. Misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding. Jiraiya quickly defended. Tsunade, don't listen to this brat's words. What a misunderstanding. Don't I understand who you are, Jiraiya? Tsunade was so angry that he gritted his teeth. I didn't expect that you are still such a virtuous person despite your age. Jiraiya was not afraid of anyone but Tsunade. When Tsunade pointed at his nose and scolded him, he could only smile. For the disrespectful old thing. Tsunade cursed for a long time. When he was tired of scolding, he didn't bother to curse anymore. He picked up the wine glass and took a sip. Then in a tone of hatred, Jiraiya, can't you change this bad habit? I have lived half my life and have no other hobbies except this one. I can't change it, and I don't want to change it. Jiraiya smiled bitterly, and seeing Tsunade wanting to hit someone again, he quickly changed the topic. Tsunade, please think about the Hokage matter again. The village really needs you now. Don't think about it. Tsunade decisively refused. Being a Hokage will not end well, only a fool will become a Hokage. Jiraiya sighed. Tsunade is not stubborn. How should he persuade him next? I agree with what I said, sister. Naruto smiled and echoed. Hokage is indeed the stupidest profession in the world. Anyone who becomes a Hokage will die badly. Jiraiya was stunned. Naruto, what are you talking about? Tsunade frowned slightly and looked at Naruto displeased. I don't know how the first generation died. The second generation died in battle, the fourth generation died in battle, and the third generation was almost killed by his apprentice. Naruto smiled and looked at Tsunade. Sister, look, how could this fourth Hokage in Konoha's history have a good ending? Tsunade's sister's decision not to be a Hokage is really wise. I give her a thumbs up. Naruto gave a thumbs up. Kid, veins popped out on Tsunade's forehead. She is angry. Even though she complains that Hokage is not good, in her heart, Hokage is sacred and cannot be blasphemed. She can complain about Hokage, but she will never allow others to say a bad word. This is actually the same as parents beating and scolding their children. His own children can be beaten and scolded at will, but others cannot. Tsunade almost has this kind of mentality. What, did I say something wrong? Naruto blinked. Don't you think everyone who is a Hokage is stupid, sister? Kid, get out of here. Chapter 57 Naruto of Tsunade. Night falls over the land. The streets are brightly lit and full of fireworks. Tsunade and Naruto stood far away on the street, their swords at war with each other. Jiraiya and Shizune stood aside. Tsunade-sama, let's forget it, right? Shizune was frightened and persuaded. He is just a child, don't get angry with him. Shizune is a very kind person and understands Tsunade very well. He knows that Tsunade does not attack lightly or harshly. Now that he was so angry again, Naruto was going to suffer. Shizune, no need to persuade her. Jiraiya watched the excitement and didn't mind the matter. This kid is neither big nor small, and his words are neither light nor serious. I want to teach him a lesson and let him know what he can and cannot say. Although he said this, what Jiraiya was thinking in his heart was that Tsunade would definitely suffer. He knew Tsunade was no match for Naruto. Sister Tsunade, if you want to fight me, I have no objection, but you have to give a reason, right? Naruto looked at Tsunade with an innocent look on his face. There is no reason. I just see you unhappy and simply want to beat you up. Is this reason enough? Tsunade put his hands on his hips and said with an unhappy look on his face. Fine, Naruto nodded. It just so happens that I also got to meet the legendary Sannin. Is it worthy of the name? Kid, you are so annoying. Tsunade was so angry that veins popped out on his forehead. I asked you to strike first, so as not to say that I am bullying the small. You always use the big one to bully the small ones, well, you have big breasts. Naruto was not polite to Tsunade and took the initiative to attack. Earth-style arm of rock. Rumble. The ground shook violently. The next second, a huge hand made entirely of rock burst out from under Tsunade's feet and grabbed Tsunade. Tsunade's pupils shrank. Earth-style ninjutsu. Why didn't you see this kid's seal? Although he was surprised, Tsunade was not idle. She suddenly raised her right foot and kicked Iwa's arm. With a click, the huge rock arm was smashed into pieces and scattered on the ground. But it's not over yet. Another rock arm burst out of the ground and grabbed Tsunade with a bang, then a third one, a fourth one. What a fast speed! Tsunade was shocked. The level of the rock arm was not high, it was just an ordinary sea-level ninjutsu. Even sea-level ninjutsu requires sealing and release time. How can it be so instant? Facing the arm of the rock that was constantly grabbing at him, Tsunade ignored it and used his hands and feet to attack crazily. Her strange power is indeed ridiculously great, and she can smash Iwa's arm into slag with just one punch. There were too many Nyan's arms, one after another, endlessly, which made Tsunade tired to deal with them. Kid, is this the only trick you can do? Tsunade gritted his teeth in anger. Are you bothered? Since you said so, let's change to something else. Naruto smiled faintly, a trace of eye shadow quietly appeared on his eyes, and his pupils turned into horizontal lines. Sage Art Earth Style Iwaken Technique. Naruto's right hand instantly turned into a hard rock fist, its hardness and weight instantly increased dozens of times. Punch me. Naruto moved his feet and appeared in front of Tsunade. He drew his right fist like a bow and punched Tsunade. What a speed! Tsunade was taken aback and quickly swung his right fist to block. Boom! Tsunade's strange power is fierce and domineering. Naruto's rock fist technique, with the increase in Sage mode, is equally astonishingly powerful. When the two fists collided, a terrifying shock wave erupted, forming a strong wind that swept away. The dust and gravel on the ground were instantly thrown away. Looking at Tsunade and Naruto, they each exploded backwards. Naruto retreated 7 or 8 meters. Tsunade retreated more than 10 meters. In one move, a decision can be made. Tsunade looked at Naruto in disbelief, like looking at a monster. Kid, your power. Monster power has always been Tsunade's most trusted, most powerful, and proudest means of attack. With his strange strength, Tsunade became famous. But Tsunade never expected that his strange power could not compare to that of a kid. Naruto he. Shizune also looked at Naruto in surprise, she had never seen anyone who could surpass Tsunade-sama in strength. Tsunade, Naruto is no ordinary brat. Jiraiya was very happy to see Tsunade defeated. If you don't take it seriously, you will capsize in the gutter. You shut up. Tsunade glared at Jiraiya fiercely, then looked at Naruto and said, Kid, I admit that I underestimated you. Next, I will take it seriously. Feel free to come over here. Naruto looked like he deserved a beating. If I lose to you today, I will keep your bed warm for a month. Being teased. Tsunade was so angry that he gritted his teeth and his cheeks turned red. Kid, let's see if I don't tear your mouth apart. Tsunade took the initiative to attack Naruto, and all his strange power exploded. Boom boom boom. The two of them almost became an afterimage, bombarding the streets wantonly. Naruto did not deliberately use speed to dodge, nor did he use the flying thunder god to sneak attack Tsunade from behind. It was a head-to-head confrontation, a fist-to-flesh collision. Are you good at strange powers? I'll accompany you. After repeated bombings, Naruto didn't blush or breath, and acted like a normal person. Tsunade was panting from exhaustion, gasping for air. Although the burst of strange power is brave, it consumes a lot of physical strength and chakra. Tsunade is a little exhausted. Sister, do you still want to fight? Naruto asked with a smile. Monster. This kid is a monster. Tsunade propped up his knees, glared at Naruto fiercely, turned around and walked towards the izakaya. It's boring, let's not fight. Chapter 58 Tsunade, Naruto needs you. After the battle, the four returned to the izakaya. Tsunade lost the battle and felt very humiliated. He sulked and said nothing, drinking one glass after another. Shizune stared straight at Naruto, with a look of shock, confusion, and disbelief on her delicate face. She couldn't imagine how this little kid, who looked harmless to humans and animals, could burst out with such terrifying power. After fighting Tsunade-sama for so long, not only did he gain the upper hand, but he also seemed to be in peace. Is this really a child? Tsunade, actually there is nothing to be ashamed of losing to Naruto, you don't have to mind it either. Jiraiya said with relief. Orochimaru came out of first generation and second generation. The three of them joined forces, but they were still suppressed by Naruto. Tsunade turned his head and looked at Naruto and Jiraiya in shock. Are the rumors true? What rumors? Jiraiya wondered. This is the Konoha collapse plan. Tsunade stared at Naruto. It is rumored that a genius ninja appeared in Konoha, defeated Orochimaru single-handedly, and saved the old man and the village. It should be him, right? That's what happened. Jiraiya nodded. If Naruto hadn't taken action in time, the old man would probably have confessed. Having said this, Jiraiya couldn't help but shake his head. The old man is really old, and his combat power is reduced to 10%. Letting him continue to be a Hokage is indeed embarrassing for an old comrade. It's time to let him enjoy his old age. You are so considerate of him, why don't you become a Hokage? Tsunade said angrily. Do you think I'm Hokage material? Jiraiya spread his hands. If you let me squat in the office every day and read documents, you might as well kill me. But then again, Jiraiya glanced at Naruto and smiled. Actually, the old man's chosen candidate for the next Hokage is Naruto. But Naruto is too young and not old enough, so the old man wants to let you take over for a few years. When this brat grows up, if you don't want to do it anymore, you can pass the position of Hokage to him. Tsunade immediately sneered. Joining me to be a Hokage is paving the way for this brat. Although it doesn't sound good, it's true. Jiraiya spread his hands helplessly. I won't do it. Tsunade was too arrogant to accept such a result and refused on the spot. You asked her to go back and clean up the mess, turn the tide, and save the village from the fire. She absolutely does it. Although he has been away from Konoha for many years, Konoha is Tsunade's home after all, and Tsunade still misses this home. But you asked her to go back as a transitional person and pave the way for others. Tsunade felt insulted. She, Tsunade, is the princess of Konoha after all, and she is a match for someone. Isn't this humiliating? Tsunade. Jiraiya still wants to persuade. No need to persuade me. Tsunade waved his hand. If you don't go back, you won't go back. There are so many elite jonin in the village, and you can just find someone to pave the way for them. Why do you have to find me? Well, Jiraiya sighed helplessly. Tsunade sister, have you heard of the Akatsuki organization? Naruto suddenly said. Have not heard. Tsunade hummed. This organization is collecting tailed beasts. Naruto said calmly. Their purpose of collecting the 9-tailed beasts is to resurrect 10 tails. 10 tails. Jiraiya and Tsunade were shocked. Naruto, what are 10 tails? Jiraiya said in surprise. 10 tails, the source of all tailed beasts. Naruto smiled and said. Back when 10 tails brought trouble to the world, Sage of Six Paths sealed 10 tails in his body and became 10 tails Jinchuriki. Later, Sage of Six Paths used yin-yang escape to divide the 10 tails chakra into 9 parts. This is how we have the 9-tailed beasts. This news is so exciting. Tsunade and Jiraiya were both shocked beyond measure and looked at Naruto in disbelief. Naruto, how do you know this? 9 tails told you? Jiraiya asked. Naruto nodded and continued. Now, someone summoned the 10 tails body from the moon. I plan to use the body of 10 tails and the 9-tailed beasts to resurrect 10 tails and rule the ninja world. Naruto looked at Tsunade. By then, the entire ninja world will be in flames of war. Sister Tsunade, do you think you can avoid all these disturbances by hiding here and dreaming? Impossible. By then, no one can escape, including you, me, and everyone in the ninja world. If Akatsuki's purpose in collecting tailed beasts was simply to rule the ninja world, that would be fine. Laozi hid in the deep mountains and old forests and let you beat him to death. What the hell does Laozi have to do with him? But this fool like Madara is going to activate infinite Tsukuyomi and drag everyone in the ninja world to the dream world. Until then, it will be useless wherever you hide. This is disgusting. Tsunade was obviously shocked by the news, his expression kept changing, and he was uncertain. Tsunade, why are you hesitating? You know and understand the power of tailed beasts better than I do. Jiraiya scolded seriously. If Akatsuki really resurrects 10 tails, the entire ninja world will be ruined. Tsunade was silent. She knew better than anyone how powerful tailed beasts were. When she was a child, she often heard her grandparents talk about tailed beasts. The 9-tailed beasts are so strong, how strong should their source, 10 tails, be? Once Akatsuki is really allowed to resurrect 10 tails and start a ninja war, just thinking about it makes people shudder. You have also seen Naruto's talent. It can be said that the entire ninja world is rare in 100 years. Jiraiya said earnestly. Once he grows up, maybe he can reach the heights of first generation. By then, even if Akatsuki launches a war, we will still have the power to protect ourselves. But he is too young. He needs time to practice and realize his talent. We can't let him waste his precious time on correcting documents. Tsunade, he needs you, Konoha needs you, everyone in the ninja world needs you. Chapter 59. You Hyuga clan are nothing but bullshit. Tsunade was finally persuaded and agreed to return to Konoha to succeed the 5th Hokage. Jiraiya breathed a sigh of relief, finally relieved of his worries, and cast an appreciative look at Naruto. He thought Naruto was smart. First, he deliberately angered Tsunade, and then gave Tsunade a blow to make Tsunade pay attention to his identity. In the end, Akatsuki acted with emotion and moved with reason. Throughout the whole process, Tsunade was completely led by the nose. This kid is so smart. Jiraiya shook his head and smiled. I'm a little worried for Akatsuki, with such a smart enemy. That night, the four of them stayed at a hotel and set off back to Konoha the next morning. Fear of being close to home. After returning to the village after many years of absence, Tsunade and Shizune were very excited and their steps were a little light. Jiraiya is also very happy, successfully convincing Tsunade that he does not need to succeed the 5th Hokage. Naruto was not in a good mood. He drew a lottery in the morning and didn't get anything good. He was depressed. In the afternoon, the group returned to Konoha. Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizune first went to the Hokage building to meet the 3rd generation, and Naruto was free to move around. Naruto was in no rush to get home. After not seeing Hinata for several days, Naruto thought strangely and went to the Hyuga clan. The Hyuga clan occupies a large area and the buildings are quite luxurious. The ninjas went out to perform tasks, and only the old, weak, women and children stayed at home and took care of the housework. Along the way, Naruto saw many children from the Hyuga clan playing, chasing and fighting. The girl is made of pink and jade. The boy has a tiger head and a tiger brain. As expected of him, he is a descendant of Otsutsuki Kagaya. He has good genes and a high proportion of handsome men and beautiful women. Naruto sighed inwardly. When they arrived at the Hyuga clan's mansion, they were told by the Hyuga tribesmen guarding the gate that Hinata was out on a mission. Naruto wanted to leave, but Hyuga Hiashi wanted to see him. Let's meet each other. Naruto happened to also want to meet Hyuga Hiashi, the head of the Hyuga clan. Following the Hyuga tribe into the living room, Naruto met Hyuga Hiashi and Hyuga Hanabi. Meet the Hiashi clan leader. Naruto greeted casually. To be honest, Naruto didn't have much fondness for Hinata's unsmiling, strict and rigid father. If it wasn't for Hinata, the two sides wouldn't have crossed paths. Naruto, welcome to the Hyuga clan, please take a seat. Hyuga Hiashi is serious about his words and precise in everything he does. Even his sitting posture is upright. Kneel down and sit on the tatami, with your back straight. Hanabi sat next to him, equally upright. Thanks. Naruto sat cross-legged on the ground casually, his sitting posture in stark contrast to the father and daughter Hyuga Hiashi and Hyuga Hanabi. The servant brought the tea and bowed respectfully. Tea please. Hiashi extended his hand to indicate. Thanks. Naruto picked up the tea, took a sip, and asked calmly, does Chief Hiashi have a problem with me? Hyuga Hiashi didn't speak, just looked at him with his white eyes, as if he was examining and sizing him up. Hanabi also blinked and looked at Naruto curiously. The little girl is only 7 years old, but she has already grown graceful. In time, she will definitely become a great beauty. Hyuga Hiashi didn't speak, and Naruto didn't bother to speak. After a long time, Hyuga Hiashi said, Naruto, I heard that you were dating my daughter Hinata. Right, Naruto admitted it openly. He did like Hinata, and in the past 2 months, after returning from missions, the two often met in private. It's not a secret that they're dating. Hyuga Hiashi snorted and said displeased, Uzumaki Naruto, do you think you are worthy of my daughter? Naruto was stunned for a moment, then smiled, what do you want to say, Chief Hiashi? You might as well just say it. You come from a humble background, and you are a nine-tails Jinchuriki. You have been ostracized by the villagers since you were a child. Hyuga Hiyashi said indifferently, and Hinata is the eldest lady of my Hyuga clan. She is destined to inherit the Hyuga clan and lead the Hyuga clan in the future. Do you think you are worthy? Is it worthy? Naruto scoffed. Why are you laughing? Hyuga Hiyashi frowned slightly. Naruto's smile was sarcastic, which made him feel offended. This made Hyuga Hiyashi, who has always been strict about words and etiquette, a little disgusted. It's nothing, I just think that the Hiyashi clan leader is a bit pedantic. What time has it been, and he still says such stupid things. Naruto shook the teacup and chuckled. The Uchiha clan was strong enough in the past, right? What about now? Wasn't the family wiped out by a traitor, leaving only a lonely orphan? Grand Chief, you ask me if I am worthy of Hinata. My answer is, indeed I am not worthy. Naruto smiled lightly, but it's not because of you Hyuga clan, but Hinata herself. Hinata is gentle, kind, and has a deep love for me. I am ashamed of her affection for me. As for you Hyuga clan. Naruto grinned, and his laughter was full of contempt. In my eyes, you are just a chicken and a dog, and you can be destroyed with just a slap. Arrogant. Hyuga Hiyashi was furious. Uzumaki Naruto, you are a yellow-haired kid, how dare you look down on my Hyuga clan? Chief Hiyashi, you have really wronged me. Naruto spread his hands and looked innocent. It's not that I look down on you Hyuga clan, but you Hyuga clan are very crotch-stretching to begin with. The idea of being the strongest in Konoha, the most powerful family in Konoha, and the strongest ninja clan in the ninja world is all bullshit. Orochimaru attacked Konoha the day before yesterday. Where are your Hyuga clan? You seem to be dealing with Sand Shinobi's soldiers, right? From you, the leader of the Hyuga clan, to ordinary clan members, you don't even have the courage to look Orochimaru in the face. Naruto sneered. Just one Orochimaru can make you run away in fear. Chief Hiyashi, please tell me, why do I think so highly of the Hyuga clan? Chapter 60 Hyuga Hiyashi's Plan. Hyuga Hiyashi's face was ashen. Since the Senju clan fell into silence and the Uchiha clan was exterminated, the Hyuga clan has become the most powerful family in Konoha. As the head of the Hyuga clan, when had he ever been pointed at and sprayed on the nose like this? Junior, you are too arrogant. Hyuga Hiyashi slapped the table. Okay, don't use the arrogance of the Hyuga clan leader to pressure me, I won't accept your trick. Naruto waved his hand. I am a person who has never had bad teeth. I always eat soft food and not hard food. Everyone respects me afoot, and I respect others afoot. If others are kind to me, I will also greet them with a smile. Hello, I am good, everyone. But if someone wants to step on my face and shit on my face. Naruto threw the teacup on the table casually, and the tea spilled all over the floor. Haha, then don't blame me for turning your back on others. Hyuga Hiyashi's face was livid with anger, his eyes were opened, and he stared at Naruto angrily. Hyuga Hanabi was stunned, covering his mouth and looking at Naruto with disbelief on his face. Growing up, she had never seen anyone dare to talk to her father like this, and Naruto was the first. Hyuga Hiyashi glared at Naruto. After a long time, he suddenly changed his previous tone and became calm. What happened between you and Hinata is actually not impossible. Forehead. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Hinata is the eldest daughter of my clan. She is destined to inherit the position of head of the clan in the future. It is impossible to marry outside. Hyuga Hiyashi said calmly. If you can marry me into the Hyuga clan, I am willing to help you. Naruto was stunned for a moment, then smiled. Well, you have laid so much groundwork, belittling me and elevating Hinata's status. It turns out that your real purpose is to get me to marry you. It's right when you think about it. Whether it was his performance in the Chunin exam or his battle with Orochimaru, he showed terrifying talents in ninjutsu and taijutsu, as well as a powerful instant combat ability that surpassed Konoha. Not to mention, the third Hokage has personally stated that he will support himself to succeed the Hokage and become the fifth Hokage. It is impossible for Hyuga Hiyashi not to know all this. Not only does he know about it, but he also has his eye on his potential and combat power, and has already begun to win over him. Also, For a great ninja clan like this that has been passed down for thousands of years, the most important consideration is always profit. With such an outstanding person like him, the Hyuga clan would like to take him under their wing and win him over to the clan. Given time, when he inherits the position of Hokage, it will be equivalent to having a Hokage in the Hyuga clan. Good calculation. People from these big families really have 800 scheming minds per person. It's so tiring to deal with them. Naruto stood up with a smile. Chief Hiashi, I can tell you clearly that getting married is impossible. Hyuga Hiashi seemed to have guessed that Naruto would refuse, so he stopped pretending and showed his cards. Uzumaki Naruto, since you said so, I will also open the skylight and talk to you. You should know that with Hinata's talents, she is not qualified to inherit the clan. Hyuga Hiashi said. According to the rules of my Hyuga clan, if you don't inherit the clan, you have to become a branch house. Can you bear to watch Hinata being carved as a caged bird and become a slave for the rest of her life? In Hiashi's opinion, Hinata is indeed not qualified to inherit the clan, but if Naruto gets married, everything will not be a problem. Naruto is so good, he and Hinata's children will definitely be good, and there will be no problem in inheriting the clan. Naruto smiled, with a solemn smile. Chief Hiashi, I can tell you clearly. Hinata will not inherit the clan, let alone become a branch house. Her only identity now and in the future is that she is my woman. Remember this sentence. If anyone in the Hyuga family dares to take advantage of Hinata, there will be no need for this family to exist. I don't mind following the example of Uchiha Itachi and letting the Hyuga clan disappear from the ninja world forever. With that, Naruto turned and left. Hyuga Hiashi stared at his back in a daze, his face changing with anger and uncertainty. Suddenly, he shook his head and chuckled. This kid is only 12 years old, but the pressure he exerts on me is more terrifying than the third generation back then. Hinata, you silly girl, silly people are blessed with foolish things. Hyuga Hiashi shook his head. All his previous remarks were actually just temptations. Use trials to determine what kind of person Naruto is in order to formulate strategies for getting along with Naruto in the future. Now he knows what's going on. Certainly, tests are tests. If Naruto really agrees to marry Hyuga, he will agree without hesitation. Ahem. At this time, there was a cough, and an old man with a stooped back walked out on crutches. Father. Hyuga Hiashi stood up quickly. This old man is none other than the previous generation head of the clan, his father, Hyuga Masanori. The boy refused. Hyuga Masanori knelt down with the support of his son. Refused. Hyuga Hiashi even said. As expected. Hyuga Masanori said. I heard about this kid. He can face characters like Orochimaru and first generation second generation without changing his expression. He is obviously a strong and unstoppable master at heart. How could you condescend to a woman and marry into our Hyuga clan? That's what father said. Hyuga Hiashi echoed. Since getting married is not possible, then let's win over her instead. Hyuga Masanori said. This kid is only so old, he can suppress Orochimaru, first generation second generation. I have mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, senjutsu, and a large number of ninjutsu. My future achievements are limitless. Maybe there will be another Senju Hashirama in a few years. Even if you can't interact with such a person, you must never be an enemy of him. In the ninja world, strength speaks for itself after all. It just so happens that he and Hinata are in love, so let's go with the flow and make it happen for them. When he becomes the son-in-law of my Hyuga clan, it will be of great benefit to our Hyuga clan without any harm. I understand. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.